I get back normal, then we can turn it back up. Yeah, even a little bit less.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Brad urging Stewart's hit off. Gets to the turn. Watch this play. The spin backhand pass right to the tip of Connor Halley. It's Walden that drives through to the net. He takes the deep into the zone, and then makes Corey Perry lane. Makes the inside move, and he's not going to miss from there. He has been ready. And he carries
On Sports 1440.
He'll turn back. Now ahead. Lawrence had it knocked away from hit by Ekblad. It's tended on it. 2-1. Get it to the net. Scores.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Smith gets a clean look. The Indiana Pacers put up an 80 spot on it.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, live at sports1440.ca. We are once again live at OTR, Jasper Ave on 118th Street, where tonight a pivotal game for the Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights. There's lots of lineup changes, some new line combinations. We'll get to all of those. As always, the Gregor Show is presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Where you can get in the game, use the promo code Gregor100 and get a free $100 play at playalberta.ca. Text lines open and it'll be humming, I'm sure. Lots of thoughts. Maybe a little bit more nervous in Edmonton today than you were on Friday, but hey, that's what the playoffs are for. It's not supposed to be a smooth, easy ride. You're going to get excited. You're going to get frustrated. You'll be devastated. 0.4 seconds remaining. Most people thought the game was going to overtime, and it wasn't. The only actual playoff game that ended later was in 2009. UC Okanagan scored with 0.2 seconds remaining. I know that Nazem Kadri did it in 2020 at 0.1, but that was a seeding game. I don't really count as a playoff game. It was a seeding game. They didn't even play each other the next night or 2 nights later. So for actual playoff series, it was the second latest game-winning goal to give up in NHL playoff history. In fact, there's only been 10 games where a team scored the game-winning goal in the final 5 seconds. So it's not something you see very often. And it was, you can dissect the play a million ways. It's 1-on-3. You wouldn't think that they'd be able to get a guy wide open in the slot. And, guys are, you're battling, Stuart Skinner comes out to challenge and people are like, oh, just stay in your net. And if he stays in his net, then the guy can walk in and it's got lots to shoot at. And, ultimately the shot on goal wasn't going in the net. And then unfortunately it hit Draisaitl's stick and away they go. I don't think Edmonton was the better team that game. It's not like they played better and lost. I think they were deserving to lose that game. Vegas was the better team. And regardless of what fashion you lose, there's no guarantee they would have won in overtime anyway. But they got to bounce back tonight. And the good news is 5 times in an actual playoff series, a team is allowed a goal in the last 3 seconds of a game to lose. The next game, the team that lost that game, they're all 5-0. So the Oilers will try to make it 6 in a row tonight. There will be some lineup changes for Edmonton for the first time in the series. Troy Stetcher is going to play his first playoff game as a member of the Edmonton Oilers. Last year he didn't play, ended up having surgery to remove a cyst in his ankle. This year got injured late in the season, hasn't played, but he will draw in tonight. For Emerson up front, it looks like Kasperi Kapanen is going to draw in for Victor Arvidsson. Now, Arvidsson and Emerson both skated, both stayed out late at practice, which is usually a sign they're not going to play. Meanwhile, Stetcher and Kapanen were off early, obviously just resting and saving time. Like, I would tell all the guys were out of the room, and Emberson and Albertson were still on the ice, which is usually sign number one of who is going to play or not. So those will be the lineup changes for the Oilers. We'll get to some projections on the line combinations that I have. You can read it at OilersNation.com. You can see the daily face-off. So the Oilers today, the practice lines, a little bit of, you had Janmark skating on a line with Draisaitl, and I don't see that happening. I think you're going to see McDavid, Hyman, and Nugent-Hopkins start the game together. We saw them end the game last time. When they played, they only played 4 minutes together. But when they played, they had 8 shot attempts to none against. They actually had shots on goal, ended up being 2-0 in only 4 minutes. That's a combination we've seen a lot of this year. I could see Knobloch going back to it. Then you got Leon Draisaitl. Who's he going to play with? I think Evander Kane could be on his left wing, and I won't be surprised if we see Connor Brown on his right wing. The coach talked a lot about he wants his team to play quicker. Connor Brown's pretty quick, right? Kane can move. Kane can score. Brown's got 4 goals this postseason, so I see that happening. Janmark with Frederick and Perry is a combination I could see, which would then leave Henrik with Podkolzin and the newly back in the lineup Arvidsson. So those, not Arvidsson, Kapanen, excuse me. So that's the combination that I could see 100%. It's not guaranteed. So we'll see. The line combinations are obviously, they can change from day to day at any point in the game. We've seen that before, but that's kind of what I see. Conman, what's your thoughts on changing the line combinations for the Edmonton Oilers?
To do something there, just give them a little bit more energy. I mean, I thought at times, like you said, the Vegas Golden Knights were the better hockey team, and the Edmonton Oilers need to make adjustments. Even if they had found a way to win that game, I mean, how confident would you have been? I think there's probably some changes that had to be made. So just to spark a little bit more speed, maybe a little tenacity, desire, win some more puck battles. I really don't mind the decision to make a couple of lineup moves here.
I see you're in the new studio at Sports 1440. What do you make of the new digs?
It's awesome. Sitting in the host chair, we got Brownie there now. He got in before you, which I didn't have on my bingo card. But no, from the host chair, quite nice from back here. I think it's going to take me a day. It's going to take me a day or two to get used to it. It's just a little bit different. Monitors, a foot from where they used to be. And I've looked at the wrong one already a couple of times. But the studio is beautiful. We got 2 TVs in here, lots of space. It's going to be really good, especially I think for those people watching on YouTube and Facebook. I think people will really like it.
All right. We welcome in, of course, Sean Brown. We got a loaded show. Kevin Woodley's going to be by, Spec, and more as Sean Brown back at HQ. Brownie, how you doing? Got to turn his mic on so I can hear him.
Oh, is it on?
There we go.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'd echo the same words as Connor there. It's nice. All new equipment, new everything. So I think I wasn't sure if I was going to be here or be on live on location with you with the old headset, but it's nice and bright, a couple TVs. So yeah, I think you'll like the look.
Now, give me your thoughts, Brownie. The Oilers have the last 2 games, they really haven't generated much offensively against Vegas. Edmonton only had 20 shots on goal last game. They only had less shots twice all regular season. And one of those games was that Philly game when they came off of the Four Nations break and McDavid was tired and everybody was kind of whatever. But you look at how to generate more. We know what Vegas does. They want to keep it to the outside. They got big, strong D. Knobloch said it's just a matter they got to play faster. Is it that simple? What do you see for Edmonton penetrating and generating more offensively this evening?
Yeah, I mean, what I see with, the Edmonton Oilers and their playoff series and what I see as a whole throughout, watching all the teams play is the importance of just getting pucks to the net. I mean, you look at last game and, what was it, 0.4 seconds there, just throwing it to the net, it goes off Draisaitl's stick. I mean, just whether it goes off your own player's stick, goes off someone's skate, goes off someone's butt, just the importance of having guys get to the net, which brings in obviously multiple guys. And, all the goalies here are good. They're going to see what they're going to see. But if you can get traffic there, you can get bodies there. It just makes it that much harder. And at this time of the year, it's an uncomfortable place to be, and you got to make it uncomfortable. And I think that the one thing that Kapanen brings is that size. That size does matter. He's hard, he's big, he skates, he's got skill. He's a guy going against these bigger Vegas defensemen are just going to be it's just another guy that's going to be a little harder for them to kind of handle. The Oilers, with Perry and what he's doing, if you just add another guy like Kane, Frederick, and now Kapanen, that's today's playoff. That's playoffs in general, right? It's not always going to be pretty. So I see the Oilers, with the lineup that they have and just in general with the playoffs and how they're played, I see them simplifying their game and just getting more pucks to the net, as now they have another bigger body that, will probably find his way there a little bit easier.
I look in game one, the Oilers stretch the ice almost at will. Like, how many times did they catch 2 or 3 Vegas guys? We haven't seen that since. Obviously, Vegas has altered it. They're really limiting Edmonton's speed through the neutral zone. So how are they? Because Edmonton is the faster team, but the last 2 games, they haven't looked faster. So how do you feel Edmonton has got to generate more speed through the neutral zone? Is it, do they got to break out quicker? Do they need to do something different, attack maybe more down the middle of the ice through the neutral zone? Because they really haven't been able to generate much offensive zone time because they haven't really been able to get through the neutral zone.
Yeah, it's something that every coach, everyone in the league now, every team is so well coached and they're always trying to make subtle adjustments and it goes game by game. But I think the Oilers, with the way the Oilers defense has played, with Klinberg, Nurse, Bush, Wallman, right? Their skill set and their ability to get back to pucks, to give themselves a little bit of time to get their feet up ice, and having the forwards kind of stretch it out and have that guy coming through the middle a little bit lower, where you're stretching out the defenseman and you're either, depending on the positioning of everyone, you're either just kind of chipping it in and you got speed coming through the middle, or you're able to kind of protect the puck and hit that guy going through the middle of the ice with a little bit of speed, which makes it obviously hard for any defender to defend against. But a lot of it is just having those defensemen that have the skating ability to retrieve pucks quickly, and the skill and the ability to get pucks up quick. And then you're just kind of hoping, I don't want to say hoping, but the importance in the details of when you have the puck and when you don't have the puck, and making sure that, you're not lazy. You're not lazy getting up in the play, and you're, as a defending team, you're over top of the puck and moving up with the play and taking away time and space. That's what this game is all about now, is all those little details and the importance of it when you have the puck, when you don't have the puck, and being over top of guys and winning battles and constantly, playing fast, and which takes up a lot of energy. And that's one thing that I think the Oilers have going for them right now, is the fact that they got a lot of guys going. They have a lot of guys that are playing with a lot of confidence right now, and it'll be interesting now. You're going to put, Stetcher's going to come in off of, an injury. It's going to be his first playoff game. The excitement, the atmosphere is going to be magnified. So I'm interested for him to kind of see how he does in his first few shifts of kind of getting some touches and some feel and just kind of getting the feel of the playoffs and how quick the game is, played compared to the regular season.
Jason Gregor, Sean Brown with you. Coming up on the program today, Ken Danico will join us. We'll talk some NHL playoffs, talk NBA with Paul Sir. We got Shane Willis, the Hurricanes, looking to go up 3-1, same as the Oilers tonight, both teams at home. 2-minute warning with Cam Tate. Danny Webster will give us the Vegas look at things in the 4 o'clock hour. Speck and Woodley, also another edition of Here Comes the Sun, your chance to qualify and win a $15,000 solar system for your home, which is amazing. Also, we have a pair of seats we're going to auction off today to help out the Gregor Foundation. You want to go to the game tonight? Oilers attack twice in the offensive zone. It's going to be absolute bedlam. I was talking to Shea Theodore today, and he's like, man, he loves playing on the road in Edmonton. He goes, like, the atmosphere, he goes, even though they're not cheering for you, it's so loud early on. Obviously, Vegas is very loud, but he said he quite likes it. He says, and what the motivation to be one of 20 guys to quiet the crowd is a big motivator. But he says it's hard, like when you're standing there, and even though they're booing you, but the noise in the building is so electric. He said he loves it, and it's going to be a madhouse tonight. The fans all know what's at stake here. Edmonton's a chance to go up 3-1, which is huge. They haven't had a ton of success in game threes in series, kind of like game ones historically. So games 4, they've done pretty well for themselves. So they'll obviously try to continue that tonight with some lineup changes and more. So if you want to go to the game, 833-401-1440, some sweet seats, row 17 to go to the game tonight. We'll auction those off. Just text in with your bid and your name, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, fellas, have you seen the .4 Go Knights Go billboards? Oh, hey, man, why not? It's kind of a historic thing. And you know what? If anybody in Edmonton, if it happened the other way and Oiler fans or an Oiler business did it, you'd love it. So that's just what makes the playoffs fun. It's a kick in the junk, though, Brownie. 0.4 seconds. That's a real kick in the nards.
Yeah, that was what a buzzkill that was. My wife and I were at the game, and we wind up sitting. You just get into different conversations, so we wind up not really leaving the alumni room for the third period. And we were like, hey, you know what? Should we go up to the press box for the overtime? And within 2 seconds of saying that, all of a sudden the game is over. So yeah, that's why you're playing right to the final buzzer. Credit to the Vegas. I mean, they took advantage of a series of mistakes, and you know what? The Oilers, it's the playoffs, right? I mean, there was no way that they were going to go in and just sweep this team. You knew that there was going to be some adversity or some type of challenge. The good thing is they're still up. The good thing is that, they should be a competent group. I feel. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast and the way the playoffs are. You got two teams that are actually trying, but yeah, you don't want to lose a game that way. And it was just, yeah, you could just, you could just see and feel it in the building. Was just kind of like, wow, you go from, wanting to maybe grab an extra beer or planning what overtime is going to look like as a fan's point of view to just, okay, now we're done and let's go. So, but yeah, I mean, it is entertaining. That place is electric. For anyone that gets an opportunity to be in that building, or just in general, just being around the ice district. My wife and I went a little bit early just to go for a drink and kind of take in the atmosphere. And it was kind of, I love the friendly banter and the way Edmontonians are, where there was a couple that came with their dog, and they had their Vegas t-shirts, and their dogs were actually decked out. And it was just kind of funny to see the banter between the fans and them. And it's nice because it's nothing serious, but just what this run this year and what this run did last year for our community, for the bars, for everybody. It's just, the Oilers have done a tremendous job of just bringing people together and giving people a reason to come together.
Jason Gregor, Sean Brown. Mark came in at 200. Paulie's in at 350. Don was the first of three of you who bid 500. So Tony and Big Baby, Don beat you to it by mere seconds at 500. So we're off and running. Want to go to the game tonight? 833-401-1440. We'll return live at OTR, Jasper Ave and 118th Street. It's the Jason Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price, starting at just $1 plus tax. For a small, great tasting coffee every single day. Must be McCafe.
Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Don't miss the midweek showdown on Wednesday, May 28th at 7 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca.
Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages is the ultimate destination for everything garage. Storage solutions and cabinets? Garage Superstore has it. Vehicle hoists? Got those too. Durable polyaspartic floor coatings? You bet. From mess to masterpiece, one garage at a time. And when it's time to eat, Traeger Grills brings the heat with wood-fired flavor that can't be beat. Need it? They've got it at Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages. Visit their massive 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th or garagesuperstore.ca.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadians for $5.25. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref. That ain't hard, is it? And every game night during Edmonton's playoff run, specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocksYEG.com.
Legend has foretold a smoothie so delicious and refreshing that it could quench the thirst of a fire-breathing dragon.
But it's also a great pick-me-up after a workout. The new Dragon Slaya smoothie from Booster Juice, a legendary blend of dragon fruit and mangoes, destined to be your next obsession. Try it today along with the new Dragon Booster Ball and the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer.
3 epic menu items to conquer your cravings.
You can hear me now on the radio?
Canadian-born, relenting since 1999.
Can you hear me on the radio now?
You look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair, they'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast.
Visit drvanceelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
When you need to get away to find a hidden gem where beauty meets serenity, Silver Creek Golf and RV Resort offers a breathtaking experience. With an exquisite 27-hole course, a fabulous restaurant, peaceful camping sites, the list goes on. Whether you spend the day or even the weekend, there's no shortage of ways to have the time of your life. Call Silver Creek Golf and RV Resort to book your ticket today. 780-855-3982. Online at silvercreekgolfcourse.com.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Sean Brown, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, your one-stop shop for lotteries, casinos, live dealers, games. Oilers favorite tonight against the Vegas Golden Knights. Get your games, get your tickets on at PlayAlberta.ca. We are live and on the rocks, Jasper Ave on 118th Street, where they do have, if you want to make a reservation, I'd recommend doing it quickly if you want to get a good seat for tonight's game. Paulie's in at 555, Big Baby at 600, Tony came at 650, and now Don's back in at 800 for the sweet seats tonight. They are section 115, 17, right where the Oilers attack twice. Perfect sight lines. You'll love them. So you'll be going there, and it'll be a madhouse. I can tell you that tonight. It's going to be rocking. As the deeper the playoffs go, the fans, I thought Game 3 was the loudest it's been this year, and it'll probably be even louder tonight. That's what's great about the playoffs is as the intensity rises, so does the intensity of those in attendance. So if you're going, be prepared. Should be a hell of a time. Now, let's go to our playoff report brought to you by our Alberta GMC dealers. Truck month continues on now, where you can get a $5,000 cash purchase credit on a 2025 Sierra HD model. See more, learn more at gmccanada.ca. Gentleman who won multiple Stanley Cups, NHL Network analyst Ken Danico joins us. Kenny, welcome back to the show, my man. How you doing?
Thanks for having me. Doing well and enjoying the playoffs. I mean, it hasn't disappointed yet. It's, I guess, what we expected. But been a lot of drama and comebacks and a lot of great stuff going on.
Ken, you rode that emotional roller coaster for a long time as a player. How long did it take you to not get caught up in it too much, right? Like you have a great loss, you're like, oh, or like a big win, oh, we're never going to lose again. And then you have a loss, you're like, oh my God, we're never going to win again. How long did it take you to kind of learn, or do you always ride that wave of emotion as a player in the playoffs?
No, I think that's what experience means, and going through it a little bit, no matter how much your coach or anybody tells you, you've got to go through it a few times. And I know, speaking, from going through some playoff series early in my career to later on, you learn how to balance those emotions and understand you're walking that fine line of playing hard, playing intense, playing physical, but we can't be in the penalty box, and understanding what you can and can't do along the way as you feel out a series. But you got to play with passion and emotion. That's what it's about. I know my era was a little different and a little nastier at times. So we're seeing some of that between the Leafs and Panthers, but it's still physical. These guys are playing for keeps, and you always hear it, right, Jason? You hear you have to shake off a tough loss or tough period, tough goal, stay even keeled. That term's used a lot, and it's very true. Or you can't get too emotionally high after a big win and think things are going to be easy, and you get complacent. And it's an important tool for any team that's going to go 4 grueling rounds. You need collectively your team to really understand that balance of emotions, and you're going to lose games, you're going to win games, you're going to make a bad play, you're going to get scored on with 0.4 seconds left like the Oilers did the last game. It's devastating, it's crushing, but it's 2-1 now, and you move forward. That's all you have to do. But it's not always easy, but it's certainly an important element, and it's always preached in the dressing room.
Kenny, I got to ask you, I mean, with all your experience in being a cup winner, and you talked about, the Maple Leafs in Florida, and the fact that I love, and I'm assuming, with the way you played the game, how Florida plays, and how physical, and, you look at every scrum that Florida gets in. I mean, there's 1 or 2 or 3 guys, but they're going to take their pound of flesh. Like, how important is it, in the playoffs? Because every game, I'm assuming, takes a piece out of you, especially a guy like you that block shots, played heavy. How important is it when you have teams down that take advantage of that? Because you just don't know with injuries and the wear and tear that it has on everyone's body.
Yeah, good point, Sean. Good to hear from you. How are you doing, my man? It's been a little bit. It's been a little while.
Yeah,
but good to hear your voice. And well, you know it as well, Sean, and you've been through it. I mean, and played a similar style. And not even if you're that type of player, a physical player, an emotional player. It's kind of alluding to what I was telling Jason as well, as far as the emotions and balancing that out, and also, yes, playing a hard game and not making sure that you're healthy the entire series through it. But I'm a believer at all costs. You are playing every game like it's your last, every shift. If you don't, you're not going to win. And that's just speaking from experience and having a core group of guys that understood that, and there's going to be emotions involved, and there's going to be some hits that maybe are on the cusp or borderline, and you have to live with those types of things. That's all part of balancing out the physicality, the emotion, and everything that goes along with hard hockey. The Florida Panthers, you're absolutely right. I mean, they're a team that they at times want to take you in the back alley and settle the score there. And the Leafs gave a little back yesterday. Do I like to see some of the stuff? I don't want to see anybody injured. Don't want to see stuff from behind, but it happens. It's normal. And as a team, it can rally you once in a while. And the Leafs showed yesterday, albeit maybe not the cleanest at times, but everybody knows Florida does that as well, that you have to match that sometimes. And sometimes emotions and tempers boil over. We saw that in the series, but it's a terrific series because you see how hard these two teams are competing. That's what it takes, and they're pretty evenly matched, and the Florida Panthers are the defending champs, and regardless of the Leafs going up 2-0, they're not going to go quietly. They've just shown that by tying it up because they've been there, they get it, and they understand. The Leafs are learning what that's about a little bit after you lose a game and you're a little angry. How do we deal with all that? But as a player that played the game on the edge as well as you, Sean, for me, it was always I'm getting my pound of flesh to make sure, along the way they know we're not done and the series is a long way from over just because you've got some momentum now and a couple of wins.
Ken Danico joins us with Jason Gregor, Sean Brown, Aaron Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Ken, the Edmonton Oilers in Game 1 against Vegas, they controlled it. They beat them with stretch passes. They looked like a quicker team because they are the quicker team. But the last two games, Vegas has been able, I think, to play their system more. They've limited Edmonton's extended zone time. They've limited their speed through the neutral zone. So I like Vegas likes to pack in their defense, right? They'll give you the perimeter. You want to play on the perimeter, they'll do it all day long. So I'm sure you played in systems that have that. What's the best way for Edmonton to attack a team that constantly wants to get, like they pack it in? What do you just have to send more guys to the middle? What do you have to do to generate more chances?
Oh boy, that's a loaded question because Jason, the Oilers, when they're going out, yes, they're the faster team and maybe want a little more transition game, but Vegas has won a Stanley Cup. They know what it takes. They knew they had to adjust after the first couple of games and losing in their building. And to me, it's a little ironic that with you're getting better matchups, you get the last line change, whether it's home on the road, that they've been able to adjust in Edmonton for that game in Game 3 because the Oilers can get some matchups they like, although Vegas is awfully deep. All the teams are pretty damn deep that feel anybody can play against anybody this time of year, and that's why they are a defending Stanley Cup champion team. For me, I mean, look, I played in the game. Was it a Game 6 or a closing game against the Toronto Maple Leafs in 2000 or 2001? We gave up 6 total shots in the game and won 5-1, 3-2-1. So, yeah, the Leafs at that time knew what it was about, and we had a similar style, obviously, and it can be tough. But I would believe don't try to do too much. You can't beat 3 guys in the neutral zone. When you're trying, you got to chip, chase, get the puck in deep, make defensemen turn, all those kinds of things, regardless how good and big they are. And when they're in sync and connected, and again, most teams that go 4 rounds or win a cup, they have kind of a version of how Vegas plays, and they're big and strong, and they want to take the middle of the ice away, especially with a team loaded and the 2 best players in the world, the Draisaitl and McDavid, loaded with skill and speed. You've got to do something to slow them down, but it's more about support and connectiveness for Vegas. For the Oilers, you got to come up together too. The stretch pass, because now it's not maybe as available. It's the 5-7 foot pass, and they attack each guy 2-on-1 sort of thing that you can get through the neutral zone and then get it in. And if nothing's there, sometimes you have a tendency to want to do too much and want to make a play, and it's just not there, and it becomes high risk for a turnover. You've got to adjust your game, and you've got to maybe chip the puck a little bit more than you like.
Yeah, wow. And so you have to play it different. I think even on the penalty kill, Vegas really packs it in. And I think Edmonton, I think Edmonton's going to send a guy there a little bit. They did score 1 out of 2 chances last game, but they'd like to generate a few more. And when the guys kind of shrink to protect the house more, that's where you've got to move around and take advantage of any sort of seam pass, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to pull somebody, even if it's ever so slightly out of position. Nobody does it better than a McDavid because of his speed and edge work and twisting and turning, or a Draisaitl who can hang on to that puck so well. But you need elite players. They have 2 of them and plenty more that you make that defender move. It's about being, patient for a penalty killer. I was a penalty killer a long time in the league, and against great players like Lemieux and everybody else, I would constantly say or hear from Larry Robinson, our coach on the bench at the time, and one of the greats. He would tell me, he says, Kenny, don't overcommit. You overcommit unless you're 100% sure, you're going to get burnt. These guys are too good. And you learn that, and Vegas is very good at that along the way, but you got to try to pull somebody out. And when a shot's there, again, it's simplified, get it through, get guys, get body position, get it to the net. And Evan Bouchard gets the shot through as good as any defenseman I've seen in the league. Not only does he have a bomb, but he's an intelligent player. I saw the Corey Perry tip where he just flicks it to the net. He sees Perry, and Perry does his thing, the redirection. So you can't, sometimes defensemen too on the power play want that big windup, or it's adjusting when you know that you don't have much time. There's not a lot of open lanes to get that shot through, but the Oilers have as good as it gets on the power play, in particular up top of Bouchard, of getting those through. But that's all you hear coaches say. I'm sure Sean can tell you the same thing, is when the team's packing the house, when the team's tight on the penalty kill, not giving you much room or much space to get it through, it's simplified a little bit, just a little bit more. That's all. And you got to drag guys a little bit out of position and make him make the first play kind of thing, or lunge or lean. And that's when an open lane for a pass or seam pass is available.
Kenny, I got to ask you, a guy that I know you respect and had a ton of success with, Lou Lamoriello, probably the best GM that I was ever to play for and best organization. You know, do you think he stays in the NHL, finds another job? Is it something that he wants to do? What are your thoughts?
Oh, Sean, I had a little chat with him, and you never know with Lou. I mean, some guys just can't ride off in the sunset and relax and enjoy their fruits of what he's accomplished throughout his career. And you're right, he's accomplished a lot. He's one of the great GMs, certainly of all time. For me, I tell him, I always say, Lou, go relax, man. Go have some fun. But some guys just aren't wired that way, you know. I mean, what is he, 88, 82, 81, 82? He's a young 82. I will tell you that every time I see him a handful of times a year when we play the Islanders. But knowing Lou, if there's an opportunity, he'd probably go at it again, because that's just who he is. I know I would have retired about 10 years prior to Lou, regardless of all the success. He's just wired that way, as you know, right, Sean? And he wants to be in the action. And that's what's made him so great. That's one of his traits that we know, because of, he's got to work. He's got to be going. He's got to be using his mind. That's living to him. For me, I might be in a beach on Fiji if I was Lou Lamoriello, but hey, to each their own. Great man, though, and love him as well.
Ken, as always, man, we appreciate your time. Enjoy the playoffs. We'll talk again soon. Have a great day.
Yeah, should be some great games tonight, guys. Thanks for having me on. And Sean, really nice catching up with you, man. Keep up the good work.
Good to hear your voice.
There you go. That's
Take care, guys.
Danico, of course, multiple Stanley Cup winner with the New Jersey Devils, being an analyst for the Devils for a long time now, of course, doing some playoff work for NHL Network. It's 2:38. Jason Gregor, Sean Brown with you. Tony's in at $900 now for our tickets for tonight's game, the Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights. The Oilers attack twice, so you'll be in section 115, row 17. Unbelievable sight lines. And a section that likes to have a lot of fun. So you'll be having a good time tonight at the game. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We're going to talk more playoffs. Also, we are going to get in. We're going to hear from Trent Frederick. We're going to hear from Zach Whitecloud, Connor McDavid, Chris Knobloch, and much more as the Oilers prepare. Obviously, it's a crucial game tonight. Oilers have an opportunity to take a 3-1 series lead. Vegas looking to even this up and continue it to be a road series, as the road team is 3-0 thus far in the series. We'll return. Jason Gregor, Sean Brown with you on The Gregor Show, live and on the rocks, Jasper Ave, 118th Street, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Your vehicle is a big investment. Protect it at Hughes Car Wash. We use only clean, fresh water and the highest quality car wash soap. Hughes Car Wash, the car wash pros.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Spring style and road-ready performance are more affordable than ever. Now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save up to $5,000. Lease a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 4.9% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save $2,000. Get ready for the open road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services, only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Grant Fedoruk here from Leading Edge Physiotherapy. Now, some people live with problems they don't have to because they might not know that we're here, the things we can do, and the issues we can help. Problems less talked about, like incontinence, vertigo, Bell's palsy, and lymphedema, or even things people live with every day, like shoulder, neck, and low back pain. So while a lot of people already know we have the people, tools, and technology to help you head to toe, I'm going to keep at this, because if just one more person gets the care they need, then every penny we spend sharing what and who we can treat is worth it. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
I won't shave till we bring home the cup. And I like to do a shot for every playoff goal.
My jersey's not coming off until we're the city of champs again.
Want a playoff superstition that always wins? Pick up a bag of Wilhock beef jerky for every game. Because when it comes to the playoffs, where there's a Wilhock, there's a way.
Make every playoff game a Will Hockey game day with Wilhock beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't bring home the cup with salad.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk. At Vision Credit Union, we've been around a long time. In fact, we've been serving rural Alberta communities for 75 years. We launched in 1950 with $128, 21 members, and a mission to help our communities. It's still our mission today. That's why we return 75% of Vision's profits to members, offer full-service banking in underserved rural communities, and prioritize contributing to charitable causes in our hometowns. We're here for good. VisionCU.ca.
Fire bans and restrictions are now in effect for parts of Alberta where wildfire danger is very high or extreme. Because of dry and windy conditions, wood-burning fires may not be permitted on public or private lands. Visit albertafirebans.ca for more information about bans or restrictions in your area. That's albertafirebans.ca. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Hi there, I'm Ryan Reynolds, and I have a list of things I like to have on set. It's just little things like 2 freshly cracked eggs scrambled with crispy hash brown, sausage crumble, and creamy chipotle sauce from Tim Hortons. From my rider to Tim's menu, try my new scrambled eggs loaded breakfast box.
Explore Internet just got 10 times faster. 5G Ultra brings incredible speeds to homes in rural and small town Canada. Upgrade today at xplore.ca.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes, fittedgolf.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Can Torque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
Hat-tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.244. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Sean Brown. Connor Halley with you on game day. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Hope you're having an awesome day. It is game 4. Of course, you have the Hurricanes also up 2-1 in their series. They're at home tonight to Washington. That's the early game. And then the Oilers and Vegas, another 7:50 puck drop tonight. They did announce that game 5, which will go in Vegas on Wednesday, will also be 7:50 puck drop like usual. So that's good. And depends on what happens. The Oilers win tonight. There is no guaranteed game 6 yet. But if they lose, then game 6 will be Friday night in Edmonton. And start time still yet to be determined, depending on what happens in the other series. If it's the only game that night, then it would probably start a bit earlier. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You can text us in our E-Well inbox. Tony has the bid today. Currently 900 bones to go to the game tonight. Great seats, lower bowl. And hey, anybody who knows you got a season ticket holder, we're not even at face value yet, which is crazy because that's how expensive tickets are right now. But you're going to have a great time. And win or lose, the atmosphere will be very, very loud. Now, let's get to our basketball report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where your rates never change, no overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Paul Sir, host of the basketball show on Sports 1440, joins us. And Paul, I got to start with the Indiana Pacers. Given it, Paul got disconnected. All right. Well, we'll try to connect them back. So anyway, I don't know, Brownie, how much you're watching these playoffs, man, but the Cleveland Cavaliers, a 60-win season, looks like it might be going up in smoke. It's so bad for them. They were getting blown out by 41 points at the half, and then their star player comes out at halftime, is going to start shooting around to warm up, gets injured, and he doesn't finish the game. And now he might be out. It's crazy.
Well, it's just, it just goes to show that there's, the regular season and playoffs, and, a little bit, you got to be a little bit lucky to be, to go on a run. But yeah, that's unheard of when you're just in a shoot around. But, you know what, there's just no guarantees. And the NHL has done a great job with it too, where, if you can just get into the playoffs, you never know what could happen. Guys get hot, guys get injured. It's just a completely different ball game at that point.
Paul Sir is with us now. And Paul, the Cavaliers and the Pacers, they lose by 20. They were the game was basically over at halftime, for goodness sakes. And then they lost Donovan Mitchell. Is it good night, Irene, now for the Cavs in your eyes? Connor, just call him. Obviously, it's not working, so just call him on the phone. So we'll sort that out. That's 0 for 2. He's got one more to strikeout. You get 3 chances. That's it. 3 and you're done. So the other notes in the end. Speaking of basketball, we are going to talk, of course, about the Edmonton Stingers, who started their regular season on Sunday in front of a pretty good crowd on Sunday afternoon, which is what you want. I think the Stingers games. I know, Brown. Have you been to a Stingers game yet?
No, but there has been a little bit of a buzz about them. I would like to go. by the time I think about doing something, I just never kind of get around to it. But for a while there, they were putting a good product and an entertaining product, and anyone that I talked to really enjoyed going there. The one thing though, Gregor, that I have been following is the ticket prices in New York are just outrageous. It's just, we all know that the prices go up in playoffs, and but yeah, that's one thing watching the NBA and the with playoffs, the price to just get in to watch these basketball games is just outrageous.
Oh yeah, it's off the chart. And the Stingers, tough loss, 86-84 to Calgary in the season opener yesterday, but it was a hell of a game, man. I love the rules that they have there. You get to and then the last 4 minutes, you got to just play to the score. Next score wins, as Paul Sir. We'll see this time. It's his last time. Hopefully it's working. Paul, how you doing?
Doing great. Good to talk to you, Jason.
Quickly, let's go to the Pacers and the Cavaliers, and obviously, some injuries to the. But even before the injury, they were getting blown out in this series. Are you surprised at just how dominant the Pacers have been?
Not in the last game, because I think one of the great players so far in the tournament, in the playoffs rather, has been Donovan Mitchell. But with him going down, I don't give Cleveland any kind of a chance at all anymore. It was surprising to see them come into Cleveland, to them being the Pacers, come into Cleveland, take care of business. But again, you could equate it to injuries, because losing two starters and high impact players is tough to overcome. But the Pacers were ready. Cleveland had a real nice rebound in game 3. But now, my gosh, NBA record first half last night. Donovan going out, I think it's all over but the shouting right now.
What does Golden State need to do to steal one before Steph Curry gets back?
Probably pray for a miracle. Right now, I think is kind of where they're at. Like they're undermanned. Playoff Jimmy Butler is a great player. Here's where I think they have a chance at stealing one. Is the Wolves are so unpredictable. I heard when they had such an awful game 1 against Golden State, the TV play-by-play guy called it a rock fight. And that's kind of how the Wolves play, unless Anthony Edwards was the second half Anthony Edwards you had the other night, or he just takes over. If it's going to be a slugfest, it's going to be ugly, and it's going to be won or lost in the trenches. So if Edwards is off his game, and if it is reliant on the rest of the T-Wolves, then a playoff Jimmy, if Draymond Green can score more than 2 points and not complain the whole game, I think definitely the Warriors have a shot.
You look at, what about OKC and Denver? Like, that's really close series so far. It's tied at 2. You know, OKC gets the win by 5, 92-87 the other day. What is, you know, you look at the bench of the Nuggets, and I don't think their bench can hold up. You know what? You got some of their starters that are banged up, and right now, I don't even know if they can take Jokic off the floor. They basically got to play him the whole game to have any chance of winning.
Yeah, and I think too, like, we're seeing what you would have to call subpar Jokic performances, and I think a lot of that comes 2 big factors. One is fatigue, because he has to play so much, as you're pointing out, Jason. The plus minus when he goes off is just off the charts. When they don't have him, when the Nuggets don't have him in the game, so he has to be on the floor the whole time. Plus, you have the advantage of a very good defense from Oklahoma City over a 7-game series, taking away any and all opportunities that they can from Jokic to control the paint and control the game. So, and having said that, it's 2-2, and Denver did steal one in OKC. So last night, Denver 8 points in the first quarter, a record low scoring quarter in NBA history, and now they're going to go back to OKC. But if we learn one thing about the Nuggets, is that you're going to be surprised, because any team with Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray's playing better, and they're getting good performance from other players, I wouldn't count them out. I think, you know, it's just going to go game to game. It's going to be a slugfest. Could go 7.
How much confidence would you have in Minnesota against the winner of the OKC or the Denver series?
Well, Denver, I would have quite a bit of confidence, because the Wolves have some history with the Nuggets, defeating them quite soundly, or defeating them last year in Game 7 in Denver. So I think they match up better with Denver than OKC. But having said that, one of the things I think we're seeing right now is OKC is not the championship team it was a couple of years ago. They do not have great depth. When your guy is Russell Westbrook, and in many cases, Russell Westbrook has been very good for the Nuggets, but like yesterday, he was bad Russell Westbrook. He was very bad, and he really hurts you. That I think, that OKC should have an easier time against Minnesota, but the thing that I think we're seeing with OKC is their youth is showing up. Gilgeous-Alexander right now isn't 32 point a game Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's 7-game playoff series Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and that's very different. Playoffs are very different. So I can see Minnesota, especially if Edwards is playing well, to your point, Sean, I can see Minnesota making it a real good series with OKC.
Paul Sir joins us. Paul, the Stingers had quite a home opener, a tough loss by 2 points. They had the lead going into the to the fourth quarter. I love the scoring in the CEBL. I love it. You kind of play to a point system for the final 4 minutes. What'd you make? Almost like a completely revamped roster for the Stingers.
It really is. I'm really excited about this team because they've got some pieces and styles of play in their players that they haven't had before. They've got shooters. They've got 3 shooters that are better than Scotty Lindsey, for instance, is a knockdown jump shooter. And if the Stingers use him correctly, he could be a huge weapon. Bandu comes from the Baylor program where he was there the year before they won the national championship. High pedigree, really can shoot the basketball. They're athletic. And what's exciting about it is they're probably 3 starters short of their full lineup and 4 or 5 more pieces that they're going to add that's going to make them even stronger. I really like the pillars and the foundation that they have in place for the Stingers this year. Now, they do have a history. Go ahead, please.
I was going to say, what'd you make of Sean East, the guard?
Oh, love him. Love him. I love how aggressive he is offensively. I remember seeing him play at Missouri. And the Romanian league, I mean, that's not Spain, but it's a good league. So for him to go over, score almost 26 a game in a very physical, tough league like that, he can fill it up. And last night he showed signs of that. I really like him.
Yeah, Calgary seems to have their number a little bit, especially coming from behind.
Well, this is a bit of a shot at the Stingers. But there's a pattern here that was picked up last night. They've lost a lot of games like that, where they have leads and they don't hold on to them. What mystified me last night is they had 3 fouls to give in target time and allowed Calgary to dribble coast to coast and shoot not an uncontested layup, but an easy layup to win the game. The Stingers have to figure a couple of end-of-game strategy things out because they did this consistently last year too, where they had leads in the fourth quarter and either struggled to win, and especially against Calgary, didn't win. And last night, the way I explained it on the broadcast was they did everything but win, and they had every opportunity to win and didn't get it done. But they'll get it figured out. Baker and his staff are smart guys. They'll get it figured out this year. When they get all the pieces in place, I think this is going to be a real fun team to watch.
Paul, as always, man, good stuff. We'll be listening. You got lots to talk about. More Stingers game, of course, NBA playoffs and more coming up on Saturday's show at 10 a.m. here on Sports 1440. Look forward to it.
Likewise. Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Sean. Have a great day.
You too. That's Paul Sir from basketball. Formerly basketball, Alberta, host of the basketball show here on Sports 1440. Jason Gregor, Sean Brown with you. Coming up after 3 o'clock, we're going to hear Shane Willis, former NHLer, talk about the Hurricanes and the Capitals, but also we're going to hear from Trent Frederick, Zach Whitecloud, and what he's liking about his Vegas team defending. We'll hear from Chris Knobloch. He's going to make some lineup changes. And in Knobloch's words, the best way for them to attack this Vegas team, he thinks it's very simple. We'll let you hear exactly what the head coach feels the Oilers need to do tonight. And when you listen to his answer, we're going to break down, based on that response, what I think some of the line combinations could be. There's going to be some new line combinations. I know, like the practice lineup you saw, I don't put any stock into that. They barely ran lines at the morning skate today, but talking to some guys, I think I have a sense when you look at how Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, and McDavid finished the game last night, on Saturday night, I see no reason why they don't start the game together. So we'll get to that and more. But first, let's get to the comment and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Booster Juice. They're taking flight with their legendary new Dragon Fruit lineup, introducing the Dragon Slayer Smoothie, the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer, and the Dragon Booster Ball. Conquer your cravings. Stop in at a local Booster Juice today.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game day, the Oilers taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. Game 4, their best of 7. Oilers up 2-1. Puck drop just after 7:30. We've got pregame coverage with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson getting going at 6 right here on Sports 1440. Based off the pregame skate, looks like Kasperi Kapanen will join the lineup for Victor Arvidsson. The Troy Stetcher coming in for Ty Emberson. Stuart Skinner gets the nod between the pipes. On the flip side, Golden Knights captain Mark Stone, who left Saturday's game 3 with an upper body injury, skated on the same line as Jack Eichel. Elsewhere tonight, Canes meet the Capitals. That gets going just after 5 o'clock. Carolina leading that series 2-1. In the association, we got the Knicks and Celtics meeting in New York at 5:30. Knicks on top 2-1 in that series. And at 8 o'clock, Warriors will try to even up their series with the Timberwolves currently down 2-1. Major League Baseball, you got the Royals and Astros. Padres hosting the Angels. The Yankees take on the Mariners. And the Giants hosting the Diamondbacks. Longtime member of the Tampa Bay Rays, Evan Longoria announced his retirement. He'll be retiring as a member of the Rays, signing a 1-day deal. He'll be honored in a pre-game ceremony June 7th ahead of their game against the Miami Marlins. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll talk to Shane Willis, talk some Carolina Hurricanes, and hear from members of the Edmonton Oilers. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price, starting at just $1 plus tax. For a small, great tasting coffee every single day. Must be McCafe.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing, taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's 2 things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience. But it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-660-0514 or visit edmontonexpocenter.com today.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features, including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more. Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Don't miss the midweek showdown on Wednesday, May 28th at 7 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Sean Brown, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely, lovely day. It is game day. Oilers, Vegas, pivotal game for, well, heck, every game is pivotal, but pivotal game 4 tonight for the Oilers and the Golden Knights. Oilers still in a great spot. I know they did not have their best performance in game 3. Crushing loss, at least time-wise, with 0.4 seconds remaining. But they're still in control of the series. They're up 2-1. You win tonight, you're up 3-1. You're at home ice. The crowd's going to be loud. The Oilers didn't love their performance. I think they're going to come out desperate. Now, Vegas is like, hey, we win tonight, and we're right back in it. So, man, it should be a heck of a game. It is the Gregor Show, as always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. And if you haven't tried, you can get started with a $100 bonus. Just sign up and use the promo code Gregor100, and you'll get that $100 bonus. Now, we are going to hear from the head coach of the Oilers, Chris Knobloch, right away. First of all, I'm going to ask him on the Oilers, creating more on the inside against Vegas, Brown. And then we're going to listen to his answer, and then we're going to kind of go off it. But I asked Knobloch just about what can you do to create more going inside against a team that obviously wants you to play on the perimeter.
It's just simplified, quick. If you slow it down, they're able to get into position. They get to retrieve to the net. It's about playing fast hockey. Yeah, you can draw plays, but the more you draw, the more you're scripting, the more you're slowing the players' reaction times. And the game is all about playing quickly and capitalizing when they're out of position. So, yeah, we just have to play. Obviously, we know their system and what we're trying to do, but we don't want to overcomplicate it.
So, Brownie, he says, hey, it's kind of simplified, and it's true. It's not like there's some, magic, secret formula that you can unlock that's going to lead to success. But, playing fast, we saw that in game 1, but Vegas was able to kind of slow down Edmonton. So how do you feel they can get back to looking like the quicker team?
Well, I think what he's saying too is like, it's every team and every coach has some structure and has some, probably some non-negotiable ways that they want the game to be played. But I think what every coach and what makes a good coach is the actual player in itself and his ability to just make plays and the confidence in which they play the game. And these guys are pros, and they're used to structure and they're used to different systems. But really what makes them elite is their ability to understand, the situation and whether it, I think Ken Danico talked about it. Is it a play where you just kind of have to chip it in, or is this a play where I can make a play and have the time and space? But that's every coach, you can't coach that. And the Oilers have guys, two of the elite players in the NHL that, make plays out of nothing and make those reads, and more often than not, make the right play and make plays out of nothing. And what the Oilers, I know the last game wasn't exactly the way we'd all want it to go down, but this is a playoff series, and you got, Vegas is trying to win too. But what they do have is a bunch of players that are playing well, and a bunch of players that are playing with confidence and finding different ways of chipping in. You said it earlier. I think this team has done a great job of bouncing back, but getting back to how can they play fast is just it's the little details, and like Ken said, when you're playing in the playoffs, little details become big details and big parts of the game. And whether it's just as simple as a defenseman getting back to the puck and forwards working back with the defenseman to create a little bit of time and space, from the opposing defenseman. All those types of little details matter because it's just seconds here, half a second there, a foot or two here. And then now, these guys are skilled and can make plays with the little bit of time that they've bought throughout different areas of the ice. I think the Oilers have done a good job. I think they'll continue with, and I liked Arvidsson's game, to be honest with you. I know that he's a smaller player, but I liked I like the look of that line. I like the greasiness that he's played with in the playoffs, but I do think that having Kapanen, who's a bigger forward, who's gonna come into this playoff series, it's new, it's exciting. He's gonna have lots of energy, lots of enthusiasm, lots of jump. I think lots of guys, look at Podkolzin and different guys, Janmark, who just find another level in their playoff game of grit and tenacity to get to the middle of the ice, to get to the front of that. We talked about it before earlier in the season or early in the series, that if you can get your hits, you can get your licks, you can get to the front of the net, like that's taxing, that's wearing on a defenseman, that wears teams down in the first period, second period, and sets yourself up for the third period and sets yourself up well in the series in general.
Now, with that in mind, that he wants to play faster, quicker, there's going to be lineup changes. We know Troy Stetcher is coming in for Emberson. So give me your thoughts there on the back end for him. And do you think we'll see Stetcher go back playing with Nurse? Or do you think we're just going to kind of see the continued 5-man rotation and Stetcher just kind of comes in here and there?
Yeah, I think a lot of it will have to do with how Stetcher actually plays and how he gets involved in the game and how he feels and adjusts to the pace of playoff hockey. I think that's one thing the coaches have the luxury of, is that they got some depth and they got guys that are playing well and guys that are comfortable playing, whether it's a forward playing, changing up the lines or as D pairs playing with different partners in different situations. So I think a lot of it is just kind of wait and see how the game kind of unfolds and what the game presents and how Stetcher, early in the game kind of gets his footing and his feel. I think one thing about Stetcher is what you're going to get is you're going to get a guy that's going to compete. He's a guy that's going to block shots. He's going to be a guy that gets in there, takes a hit to make a play. He's going to be physical. And I think that's his identity. So, Nurse, I would expect he's going to play big minutes again. The one thing that the Oilers definitely have going is Klingberg has looked really well. I mean, he's moving his feet. He looks like he's moving the puck in the end and playing with a ton of confidence. So this is a coach that last year pushed all the right buttons. This year seems to find he's got a real good feel for his team and the pulse and where guys are at and when to interject guys. And he's, I don't think I have any reason to think that he isn't going to be able to push the right buttons, because that's all he seemed to do last year and is continuing this year.
Yeah, you look at the lineup changes, Kapanen, Arvidsson, Stetcher, Emberson. Is that going to tilt the balance of power? Probably not. But if in small cases, you know what, I think Emberson probably Stetcher is going to move the puck better than Emberson does. Now, on the penalty kill, they might miss Emberson, right? And, he plays on their number one PK unit. He plays down low, closest to Jack Eichel. That's really where their power play, everything goes through him. So I'm curious to see, who they're going to slot there, right? Like Bouchard, I guess it might be Stetcher, to be honest, right? And he's not as big, but a little bit quicker, and his penalty kill numbers are okay. Kapanen and Arvidsson, I don't think he's going to play a ton of minutes. It's really going to come down to their top guys. Their top nine's got to be better. I have McDavid starting with Hyman and Nugent-Hopkins. I might see Kane with Brown and Draisaitl. And then you have Janmark, Perry, and Frederick with Podkolzin and Kapanen together with Adam Henrique. What do you make of those? Would you keep those? Would you switch it out? And would you start with McDavid, Hyman, and Nugent-Hopkins, considering how well they played in the 4 minutes together in Game 3?
Yeah, I like that look. I like the fact that if you split up McDavid and Draisaitl, it's something that you get a feel for, and you kind of see how the lines and how guys are playing and the chemistry and the opportunities that they're creating, and it gives you the option to at different times throughout the game to give a little bit of a different look, depending on what you see and the matchups that you're seeing. But anytime you have those two players spread out, I just think they're so much harder to defend against, and especially when you have home ice advantage in the last change, you're always going to have those opportunities to put those guys in situations where, they're going to play together, because they just naturally obviously are going to create, a ton of offensive opportunities. So like I said, I think what what the coach has is options. And I think any coach, that has that, when you look at this lineup and the confidence and the abilities that, and how guys are feeling, you look at Brown, he's been playing outstanding. He's handling the puck. He's making plays with the puck. He's skating well. Podkolzin, is just playing with a ton of energy. And the one guy that, we really didn't know where, I don't think anyone had Kane playing in the situation, on the top two lines. We just didn't really know, but he's a guy that's just come into the lineup, played with a ton of energy. He's contributing. He's physical. He's hard to play against, and he's emotional. He's dragging guys, especially in a game at home. He's a guy that's going to not only fire up the guys, but he's also going to fire up the crowd. So we'll kind of, options is good. And I think, being at home and having that last change is really going to help.
Well, there hasn't been much, I don't think Edmonton Knobloch has shied away from anything. Obviously, they want to try to get Eichel out against McDavid's line. He one of the few guys in the league that can skate with him as a center iceman. And, Connor talked today, Brownie, about Vegas, does a good job the last few games. They haven't allowed Edmonton to get through the neutral zone very much, right? A lot of their best defending starts there. And we'll get to Zach Whitecloud because he kind of gave Vegas's perspective on it. Con should have that set up here in a second. But when I look at the Oilers through the neutral zone in game one, that's where they really beat Vegas, right? They stretched them out numerous times. We saw 2 direct goals from quick passes right through the neutral zone. The Hyman game winner, Draisaitl's set up with McDavid to Corey Perry on the first goal that game, and we really haven't seen much of that since. So I look for Edmonton. They've got to be able to transition better tonight against Vegas. That's how you beat them, right? A big part of Vegas's defending is it kind of starts in the neutral zone, and Edmonton's going to have to try to take that away tonight.
And they're a veteran savvy team that they've been in these situations before. They know how to play. The moment isn't too big for anyone on their team, right? And the details of being over top of the puck, the details of making sure that when they're hitting, they're in a position to continue to stay on the defensive side, and they got good sticks. And they that's the one thing, when you play in the situations and the amount of games and being a winner, you understand the moment and you understand the detail in every period and every shift, and the importance of, what the next shift needs. And they've done a good job. They've done a really good job of playing as unit of 5, taking away time and space. And that's a credit to their coaching, and that's a credit to, the details and the buy-in, of their team. But, the one thing that the Oilers do have is you got 97, and it doesn't matter how good and how detailed you are. You just, it's amazing. I mean, you sit up there and you watch this guy just kind of pick through no matter what type of neutral zone or what type of PK, it's just, with speed and coming below the puck. It's really hard to defend. And I think that's going to be the key, is that, the defense or the forwards just kind of getting out, stretching out that neutral zone and having those guys come below the puck and just recognizing, is this a chip, with guys coming fast through the middle, getting in on the forecheck, trying to get that first touch, or is there a play to be made where you can kind of pop it to the middle? And we all, any defenseman that's played the game, just ask, what was that, who was that, Podkolzin there that kind of got stuck there on one of the goals where he had a forward coming at him 100 miles an hour. It's not easy. And especially with the skill set of both forward groups.
Jason Gregor, Sean Brown with you, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. More from Chris Knobloch on Leon, talking about Leon Draisaitl. What has he seen from him following? Because Draisaitl didn't like his performance in Game 3. I said that yesterday. And here's Knobloch and maybe kind of what he's seen from Leon after a, quote, off game.
Leon's, I don't know, very rarely do I see him have an off game. Whether it's back-to-back or 2 in a 15-game stretch, usually he's been really consistent and drives the play. And so I know Leon was maybe a little frustrated with his game the other night, but you look at his season this year, and I don't know how many nights that he hasn't been spectacular. He's played, I don't know, about 90 games. I guess he hasn't played all those. He was out with an injury for a while, but I don't know, very rarely could I not say Leon Draisaitl was one of the best players on the ice. And Leon's a very important piece of our team. Obviously, Leon and Connor, when they're going well, we're in a much better position to win. And there'll be times during the game, like there always is, that he'll be on his own line, and there'll be some he's playing with Connor.
We know that coming out of any penalty kill, they'll play together. I would start them separate tonight. Brownie, what about you?
Yeah, like I said, if you start them separate, then you can always go with them, and they're going to be prepared. They're going to eat up a lot of minutes. They're going to get their opportunities where you're gonna win and lose with these guys, and they're going to get their chances. You can see even on the penalty kill that it's not something that we're normally used to, but it looks like they're using McDavid on the penalty kill, and you kind of, it's interesting. I mean, you can see why. I mean, he's able to create offense, down a man, and he's dangerous anytime he's on the ice and anytime he has the puck. But yeah, I mean, the more that those guys are out there, and if they're out there together, it doesn't matter the system. It doesn't matter who you have. Those guys just have the ability to create offense, no matter the situation.
Yeah, well, I like them apart because it means more of the game, one of them is on the ice. That's what I like. I just think when you got one of the, the top 3 players in the world on the ice, you got better chance of good things happening more often than not, right? And Draisaitl, coming off of a tough game, historically has been very good. And lastly, on Vegas has been the best team in the NHL off the rush this season. And the Oilers have done a decent job, but even better, how much does he want to slow down their transition game of Vegas tonight?
Yeah, I think that. Well,
that's the Knobloch's gonna. This is Knobloch.
Yeah, no, it's important, and their D are aggressive. They don't allow entry easily. They don't back off, so that creates a little less room, and you're confronted a little bit quicker. So it's important that, if you're not carrying that puck in, you're depositing somewhere where we can recover it, making it difficult. And, even if you don't recover that puck, you're making it harder for them to transition, get it back out. And you just have to play the game. And it's almost, it's monotonous. It's tiring, but it's important to play that style of hockey against good defensive teams. And right now there's 8 teams left, and there's not a bad defensive team left. So that's the way the game is right now.
Take a quick break. We'll return. We are going to hear more on the Oilers. Of course, we got Shane Willis as well. Carolina's up 2-1. And man, they have really dominated that series. Washington has struggled to generate anything. Will it continue? We'll find out next on Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, live at On the Rocks. Jasper Ave and 118th, your place to watch the game tonight. Great vantage points to watch all the big screen TVs. You got, it's Monday, baby, $2 hot dogs. Actually, I'm going to call them something else when I return that I just learned. And I'm curious, how many of you have heard of this term on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca?
Hey, Alberta, the all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
The month of May brings machines, mud, and for us, many an opportunity. We're GS Construction, and we love the warmer weather because it means we can get to work. But to keep things moving, we need the right people on our team. You built your skills, you know your work matters. Now's the time to bring that experience to a crew that gets it. We're hiring experienced top men and pipe layers. So if you're ready to dig in and be part of a team that has your back, Apply now at gsconstruction.ca for this great opportunity.
Spring style and road-ready performance are more affordable than ever. Now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save up to $5,000. Lease a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 4.9% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save $2,000. Get ready for the open road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services, only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Oodle noodle origins. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudel, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the New World. At Ellis Island, Nudel was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as the Noodle.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Playoff time on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. This is Andrew Walker, and join us for the Cross Mitsubishi pregame show before each Edmonton playoff game. Cross Mitsubishi on 34th Ave and 96th Street.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages, the ultimate destination for everything garage, storage solutions, cabinets, vehicle hoists, accessories, and even Traeger grills. Visit our massive 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th Ave or online at garagesuperstore.ca.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Sean Brown, Connor Halley with you. Game day, just 4 hours and a half for a puck drop tonight. The Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights, the pivotal Game 4 matchup. Oilers looking to win, even up to get a 3-1 lead in the series. Meanwhile, Vegas wants to even it up at 2. So lots on the line. Same thing in Carolina. We'll get to that. Also, we got a bid. We're up to $925 from Steve for the tickets tonight. The Oilers and Vegas. You'll be sitting where the Oilers attack twice. Lower bowl, row 17, section 115. Great seats. So you want to go 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Now, let's go around the NHL. Brought to you by McDonald's. And McDonald's just wants to have a big thank you to everyone who supported for McHappy Day last Thursday, which helps directly to Ronald McDonald House, a fantastic facility, not only in Edmonton, but Ronald McDonald House is lots of locations across the country. But for those of you in Edmonton, you helped out Ronald McDonald House and McDonald's and all the families there. Very thankful for your support. As we welcome in former NHLer and longtime analyst of the Carolina Hurricanes, Shane Willis joins us as the Hurricanes leading 2-1 in that series. They're at home tonight. And Shane, the number one thing when I watch those games is, man, Washington is one of the best offensive teams in the league. And, man, they can barely get shots on goal right now.
The Hurricanes have been such a shutdown defensive team all year, Jason. I think the pursuit and the way they take away time and space has just been on point. And they play so aggressive, and where they've had, or when they do have breakdowns, that's when teams have kind of exposed them. But when the five guys on the ice are working in sync and working as hard as the Hurricanes are, as you said, it's been real difficult for the Caps to even get shots on goal. But when they do, Freddie Anderson has been outstanding for 3 games here in this series.
So you talk about Freddie Anderson. I know that, when healthy, he's probably one of the best goalies in the league. What are you seeing from him?
Just calm, cool, and composed. I think as a player, when you're in a game and you can see how calm your goaltender is and when he's making the saves look easy, and not only is he making the saves look easy, he's not giving up rebounds. Everything that hits him, he smothers or he catches or knocks it away into a corner. And where the Caps are a big physical team, they haven't been able to create those second and third opportunities around the goal that we see in the playoffs, right? All the goals you see in the playoffs are those greasy kind of tip-in types, rebounds, and the Caps haven't found any of those in this series.
You look at matchup game and, styles in the playoffs, Shane, because, teams can really drill down on a tendency of an opposing team. In Washington, their offense, they kind of went, triangle offense. We really hadn't seen the NHL, and they improved by 100 goals. I know they added in some players, but that format for them really worked. Carolina seems to have taken it away. What are they doing specifically to limit the success that Washington has done in that triangle offense in the offensive zone?
Well, I think we have to give credit to the defensive pairs of Rod Brind'Amour. Obviously, they create pressure. They have great sticks in those lanes. But then you also have to look at the forwards. I think the way Rod has commitment of all these forwards, because you have offensive-minded forwards. You have Sebastian Aho, Andrei Svechnikov, these type of players that want to get up the ice and score goals. But he has the complete buy-in from all these forwards to say, hey, you're not leaving this defensive zone early. You have to do it right. There's no reaching or trying to poke pucks away. They're maintaining the proper body position on the defensive side of the Caps forwards, which is keeping them to the outside. And they just continue to knock pucks away before getting up the ice in transition. I think the other very, very good area the Hurricanes have been is in the neutral zone, because the Caps haven't been able to come through with speed. They have to dump pucks in, and we know that's a harder style game to play, dump and chasing in. They haven't been able to create up the rush. So the forwards have been a key part to me of being on the defensive side and maintaining the proper position, not only in the defensive zone, but in the neutral zone, which has allowed the defense to stand up and be in the faces of the Washington Capitals as they try and come through that area.
Shane, can you maybe give us some insight on Ovechkin? I mean, I think he had 3 goals in the Montreal series. He hasn't got one yet. Is it something that Carolina is doing, or is it something Washington, is it just as simple as maybe giving him more opportunity to get more shots? But maybe can you give us some insight on Ovechkin and what maybe he's not doing or could be doing more of?
A couple of things to me jump out, and one, it's the speed of the Carolina Hurricanes. I think that's an area that slows down Alex Ovechkin. Obviously, we know where he is in his career, in his age. I think the speed of the Hurricanes and getting to him very quickly takes away that shooting ability. The second big thing I've seen from Alex Ovechkin, obviously, is a guy we saw in the Four Nations Cup, and his name is Jacob Slavin. He is one of the best shutdown defensemen, if not the best, in the National Hockey League, in my opinion. Yes, do I get to see him on a daily basis and see what he does? But I think everyone saw in the Four Nations Cup how good Jacob Slavin is. He has had a steady dose of Jacob Slavin throughout this series. He's gotten away from, obviously, at home with their matchups. But here in Raleigh, Jacob's been on the ice every time Ovechkin comes over the boards. He's been able to nullify that shooting. And then we have to go back to Freddie Anderson. And when you know you're starting to get to a player, even a player like Alex Ovechkin, who is as good of a goal scorer that we've ever seen, and he's broke the record and he's proven that. He missed a chance last game where Freddie Anderson gets across and he makes the save. And Alex Ovechkin is looking up at the rafters saying, what do I have to do to score? Only in the third game of the series where you have the best goal scorer of all time frustrated and now starting to guess, you know you're in the right position, not only defensively and as a goaltender, that you're starting to maybe get into his head a little bit. With that said, he is the best goal scorer of all time. I expect him to be shooting the puck every chance he can get tonight. The Hurricanes have to stay tight on him and take away those chances.
Shane Willis joins us, analyst for the Carolina Hurricanes. And Shane, you mentioned Freddie Anderson, and man, when he's in, he's really good. And, he missed the one game. He's come back and shown no signs of worse for wear at all. I do want to get your thoughts, though, on some new guys on the team, Stankoven and Hall. How they fit in? What have you seen from them ever since the trade deadline?
Well, Taylor Hall has been excellent. Obviously, the Hurricanes have now signed him to an extension 3 years to keep him here in Carolina. He's been dynamic since arriving in Carolina, and I think he was very hungry to find a team or an organization to really try and win a championship and make sure his career continued to move along. He's been in a tough situation the past few years, so he was extremely excited to get here. He is a playmaking guy. He holds onto the puck so well, which Rod Brind'Amour likes. But again, another player, as when he came into playing in Edmonton and then he moved on to New Jersey, where here he's been fully committed to the defensive side of the puck. And that's really what impressed me. Not only playing well offensively, but playing very, very strong in the defensive zone. On the flip side, you look at the trade everyone talked about, right? Mikko Rantanen coming in with Taylor Hall, but now he's gone in Dallas. But you pick up a guy in Logan Stankoven, who, not the biggest guy, obviously very, very skilled, but his work ethic, and where I think Rod has such a upper hand on a lot of coaches is he has so many different pairings he can put together. And Stankoven can either play on your top line, he can play on your second line, he can play on your third line with Jordan Staal, and he's done all of those things, and he continues to produce. He has 5 points in the playoffs. He continues to create those type of chances. He's on the second power play unit. So although some of the trades the Hurricanes made with Rantanen didn't work out, the pieces that they got back have fit perfectly in Rod Brindamore's system with Taylor Hall, Logan Stankoven, and Mark Jankowski before he got injured early in this series. We're expecting to see him back. I don't think we'll see him back tonight, but I think he will be back at some point in these playoffs.
One last one for you, Shane. I just want to get your thoughts because obviously the winner of this series is going to face the winner of Florida, Toronto, and I know you're watching closely. What do you make of that series? And is there a team the Canes you think match up better against in style, Florida or Toronto?
I watched it again last night. I am very impressed with the physicality that Toronto is matching on Florida. Being a Canadian, I'm kind of cheering for Toronto because I'd love to see him get in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think when you look at the matchup, I think Carolina matches up very, very well for Toronto for a couple of reasons. One, I think you have to look at the penalty kill of the Carolina Hurricanes, how good it is. It can nullify what Toronto does there. Carolina's played very, very well in Toronto over the past few years. So going into that building on the road, I think they have the confidence. And I think the Hurricanes' depth, when you talk about some of the players like Stankoven, Jackson Blake, Taylor Hall, and what they're doing, I like the depth of the Hurricanes a little bit more than Toronto. But if the Hurricanes had to match up against Florida, I think that series becomes a little tougher in the fact they faced them last year, haven't had that type of success. They're a little bit of a bigger, stronger team, I feel, when it comes to that physicality area. But I think both teams match up well. I'd like to see the Hurricanes face Toronto maybe a little bit more than Florida. But as we know, at this time of the year, there's no easy passes. Every team's going to play so dynamic and hard. Every game's going to be tight, 1-goal, 2-goal games, all the way to the end. So the Hurricanes obviously focused on the Caps right now here tonight to try and get a stranglehold on this series. And then obviously to get a couple days off to rest and prepare for whoever comes out of that series.
Shane, great stuff, man. We appreciate it. Enjoy the game tonight. It'll be loud, of course, in Raleigh with a chance for them, just like the Oilers, to go up 3-1 quickly from across the country. And I don't know how late you're staying up to watch the games or not, but what have you made of the Vegas Oilers series thus far?
I loved it. Stayed up to watch every game, obviously. Grew up just outside Edmonton, being an Oilers fan of the dynasty, watching how they do, but a hard-fought series. I like the Oilers' chances tonight. I think being at home, that game, I think they almost took a breath there at the end of the game, which cost them last one. I don't think you're going to see that tonight. I think you're going to see a hard-fought battle. But Vegas really impressed me when they came here early in the season, just being a big, physical, very fast team. They have a very strong defense. I think those 60 are big, strong, and physical. I think that's been a key part. And obviously, Aiden Hill's been outstanding for them moving on in this series. But I like the Oilers at home tonight in that one. And as you said, talk about a loud building here. That place is going to be going crazy later on.
That should be fun. Awesome, man. Enjoy the game, and then I guess enjoy the aperitif watching the Oilers in Vegas after the game.
Appreciate it, guys.
That's Shane Willis, longtime analyst for the Carolina Hurricanes. And, man, Brownie, I don't know how much you've watched of that series, but Washington was one of the best pure offensive teams all year long, and Carolina has just sucked the life out of their offense.
I just think guys love. I mean, I love listening and watching the passion and the enthusiasm of Rob Brindamore, and I think that just kind of rubs off. I think guys love playing for him. He's created that whole organization has kind of created a culture, and they're fun to watch. And especially in today's game where I think, Shane said it best. I mean, you check best by how well you skate, and they're a good skating team that takes away your time and space. And I don't care who you are. or how good you are. When you're taking time and space and you always have someone in your face, it's tough for anyone to make anything happen.
Jason Gregor, Sean Brown with you, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X. Brownie, what's your prediction tonight?
Ooh, I'll go 4-2 Oil with an empty netter. Skinner's gonna have a great game.
Ooh, okay, you heard it here first. Brownie, have yourself a good day. We will chat with you next Monday.
Awesome, have fun.
There you go. That's Sean Brown. Joins us every Monday here on Sports 1440. We got Cam Tate coming up, the 2-minute warning. Also, we'll hear from Trent Frederick. And I always like to hear from the other side. We're going to hear from Zach Whitecloud and some interesting comments on why he thinks they're having success defensively. And you kind of hear what their strategy is. How can the Oilers exploit it? That's coming up next on The Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram.
In 1973, deep in the basement of an Edmonton family home, an elite team of specialized forces came together to form Action Electrical.
Action Electrical Divisions, assemble.
Projects team reporting.
Service team reporting.
Testing team reporting.
Energy team reporting.
Supercharged with skills in their electrical fields and grounded by strong family values. Facing an electrical menace? Call on the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada with sports and entertainment properties, including the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League's Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility, is open in Nisku, which features 2 sheets of ice, including a 1,600-seat arena and a restaurant with a viewing area.
Is it Riverside Motorsports? No. It's Riverside Motorsports. Over 55 years in business, and people still get it wrong. Guess it's time to get it right.
Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquacentral reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing: taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's 2 things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
April showers brought huge deals to Wolf GMC Buick. It's truck month all of May, and we froze our prices on in-stock inventory to save you money. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on some of our most popular Sierra pickups, or select up to $8,000 off on these amazing trucks. If you're in need of an SUV, good news, we have a great selection of Buicks and GMCs. Plus, Costco members may be eligible for an additional $1,200 discount. What are you waiting for? Spring into Wolf GMC Buick.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Feeding a crowd, get the triple play. 3 large specialty or 5-topping pizzas for only $54 when you use promo code 3play at papajohns.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
344. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440. Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Oilers, Vegas tonight, just over 4 hours from now. Game 4s, Oiler fans, if your memory is good, you'll be thinking, I like Game 4. Well, the Oilers have won 7 in a row in Game 4. And now, the last time, so in 2023, they were up on LA. They won that series in 6. They won Game 4. Then they end up winning Game 5 and Game 6. They were down 2-1. Right? They won Game 4 against Vegas, even up the series. Then they lost 2 in a row. Go back to last season against LA. They're up 2-1. They win Game 4. Go on to win in 5. Vancouver, they're down 2-1. They win Game 4, lose Game 5, win Game 6 and 7. Dallas, we're down 2-1, win Game 4, go on to win the series. Florida, down 3-0, needed a win, won Game 4, went all the way to Game 7. This year against LA, they were down 2-1, win Game 4, win the series. So Game 4, if you're a believer in history, Game 4 has been very good to the Edmonton Oilers. So we'll see what happens tonight. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Mike has our tickets at 9:25. And by the way, we'll end this at 5 o'clock today, just so the winner has lots of time to get to the game. All right. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 in our EUL inbox if you want to go to the game tonight. Now, let's get to our 2-minute warning with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. They are hiring. If you want to work for a fantastic company, they're hiring HVAC installers and plumbers. You get a hiring bonus. You'll also, very competitive wage, RRSP matching, tuition reimbursement, and more. Apply today at legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, longtime journalist in town. Cam, of course, born with cerebral palsy. He's in a wheelchair. He's always wanted to be in radio. And now, through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning.
I think I need my eyes checked. I watched The goal scored the Golden Knights, which reloaded their VIP line of credit at their favorite casino. That goal. The last count, 734, or was it 735? That's how many times I watched that goal, and I still cannot. That the puck would have gone into the net. I'll go eyeball it again. There. 736 views if you're counting at home. I don't think it would have. I think it would have harmlessly sailed into the left corner behind the goal on the east side of Rogers Place, but in a time of panic of doing everything, anything to get that puck away from the danger zone. That's what Leon Draisaitl did. It was very unfortunate. Right there, Connor Halley. Hey, how's little Benny? Listen, the Oilers are all dug in when they face adversity. 6 come from behind wins. You kidding me? And so the 6-in-a-row streak came to an end. So, start another one. There you go. And I don't want to get ahead of myself and fall out of the buggy, but consider this. The Oilers have won 6. 6 games, right? 10 more? And that's 16. And I'm not going to even go down that path, but what do you get when a hockey club wins 16 games in the Stanley Cup playoffs? The Oilers will put Game 3 in the rearview mirror. Short-term memory, baby. Draisaitl, he's going to right the ship. Big time tonight. We might not like it, but tomorrow we'll see how losing Game 3 let the Edmonton Oilers recalibrate. And everyone, including me, will clearly see it. 2-minute warning with Tater, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Gregor Show Sports 1440.
Cam's confident they're going to win. What say you? How are you feeling heading into to Game 4? A few lineup changes if you're just joining us Arvidsson's out. Emberson is out. Kapanen and Troy Stetcher will draw in. Calvin Pickard, in case you're wondering, he's still out. I'm not expecting Pickard back for Game 5. I don't even know about Game 6, to be honest. We'll see. I know he's been spending some time in the hyperbaric chamber. My understanding is that it's not a knee injury. It's some sort of muscle issue. So, we'll see how quickly it heals up, and we'll see if they need him back in. I've said it all along, goaltending will help, no question, but when the Oilers play well, their goaltender just needs to be solid. Rarely does their goalie need to be the de facto difference maker. It happens. We've seen games before in the playoffs where their goalie has to stand on his head, sure, but those are rare. And the Oilers tonight, right? Put your goalie in a position. The head coach of Vegas, people asking about Aiden Hill, he goes, hey, Aiden Hill plays well for us, but no surprise, when we play better, he plays better. And there's very few goalies in today's game who consistently, look at Hellebuck. When the Jets have sound defense, he has good numbers. When they don't, he's struggling, especially on the road. It's mind-blowing to see his splits home and road. Absolutely mind-blowing. I don't get it. So, hey, Gregor, where are the order flags at Gateway Park when you come into the city? They should put them out from John. You know what? I haven't driven down there on the south side. They used to have them. You're right. I don't know what goes into that. I guess I'll ask someone. Who is that? A city thing? Is it a city orders initiative together? I don't know, but they are up 2-1 in the series. So I don't know if the flags are needed, but hey, maybe if they lose, they'll need them. We'll find out. Hey guys, why is Arvidsson out? Well, coach decision, number one. He didn't give a specific reason. Well, and he didn't even want to say who was out. I'm just going by process of elimination. Usually when players, for a morning skate, the guys who aren't playing stay out the longest. And Kapanen, Stetcher, who haven't been in early, those guys are, they're in now. They were in early. And actually, by the time everybody left the dressing room, I was one of the last ones that was doing a one-on-one with Frederick. And when I left, and then I walked out, Emberson, and looked. He was still on the ice. Arvidsson was still on the ice. Usually that's a telltale sign you're not playing because those guys are getting put through the paces. You kind of keep your cardio and conditioning up that you get not bag skated per se, but they do a lot of extra drills after practice to kind of burn your legs out just like you would have in a game. So you don't feel like you're falling behind. And when it is your turn to play again, then the theory is that you're still in good enough game shape and you can just draw right back in. So he didn't give a reason. Maybe we'll find out afterwards or not, but we'll see. Hey, Greggs, I know they don't play here anymore, but the Rush, I've stayed a fan for them. Good luck for them in the NLL final from Dave the Rush fan. That's true. I don't know if you watched that, but what a comeback for the Rush in Halifax. Oh, they tied it up late. They had the extra guy, pulled. They stripped the ball at center. Then they come down and tie it up, and then they win it in overtime. So that was a huge game for them. So they'll take on Buffalo in the NLL final. Got a lot of appearances since they left Edmonton in 2015. This will be their 5th appearance in the league final since 2015. I've always said I thought it was a business mistake by the Edmonton Oilers not to have purchased the Rush when they were offered them at a much lower cost than what Bruce Urban did. The Oilers could have bought him at the time for $3 million. He moved the team to Saskatchewan, and 6-7 years later sold them for 12. So could have kept it here. I think the lacrosse community has heard a little bit because of it. And now, obviously, maybe I'm a little biased. I did the games, but lacrosse was one of the most entertaining games to call. And I've called football, I've called hockey, I've called lacrosse. Absolutely love lacrosse. It was easy as a play-by-play guy because the game's so fast with the transition. It made you sound better as a broadcaster. I always felt. They're like, oh, you're into the game more. Well, it's hard not to be because there wasn't much downtime in lacrosse. Fast game, tough game, and good luck to the Rush who are back in the NLL final. Coming up after 4:00 today, we got, of course, Kevin Woodley. We'll do more of a little insight. Danny Webster from Vegas will join us. We got Spec, your chance. It's the final week to qualify for Here Comes the Sun, a $15,000 solar system for your home. So that's coming up after 4:00. A few more quick texts, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, boys, do you think Stetcher's going to play with Nurse? I like Nurse and Bouchard better when they are apart. I think there's a good chance it'll start that way. Now, do I think they're going to play 3 even pairs? Because they basically be playing 5 defense, right? Stetcher would get in here, there. He'd be in the rotation. And then once the game was kind of close, if the Oilers were trailing, well, he doesn't add a lot of offense, so they'd go down to 5. Now, Stetcher he's a better puck mover than Troy Stetcher, but he's not going to bring you a ton of offense. Highly competitive player. And I'm telling you, he is going to be absolutely jacked to play. Obviously, he didn't get to play in the playoffs last year due to the injury. He had the cyst removed on his ankle and then had the surgery, so he was done. And he got injured late in the regular season, came back, was cleared, I think, deemed healthy to play by game 3 of the LA series and has been patiently waiting his turn. So he'll get in, Kapanen, same thing. And, we'll see. It adds a little juice. The Oilers, they need a little bit more juice than what they had the last 2 games. I think there's no doubt about that. Quick break. Also remind you, we're up to a $9.25 for our tickets to go to the Oilers game tonight. Offensive zone where the Oilers attack twice. Lower bowl, unreal seats, row 17. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. If you want in on those, currently at 9:25, we'll end that in an hour's time. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Fountain Tire is here to take care of your vehicle and your wallet. Up until June 14th, you can save 20% off select tires and get a $120 mail-in rebate on 4 select tires. Book your appointment today at fountaintire.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
It's game day. Oilers taking on the Vegas Golden Knights, once again leading 2 games to 1. Puck drop set for about 7:50. Our pregame coverage with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson gets going at 6 right here on Sports 1440. Based off pregame skate, it looks like Kasperi Kapanen will draw into the lineup for Victor Arvidsson, with Troy Stetcher coming in for Ty Emberson. On the Vegas Knights Golden Knights side of things, Mark Stone looking like he will play, skating on the line with Jack Eichel today. And Toronto Maple Leafs forward Max Domi receiving a $5,000 fine last night for boarding Alexander Barkov of the Panthers. Another game tonight, Canes taking on the Caps. That gets going just after 5 o'clock in the association of the Celtics and Knicks meeting in New York. Knicks lead that series 2-1, tip-off 5:30. At 8 o'clock, the Warriors will try to even up their series with the Timberwolves, down 2-1. We got the NBA draft lottery tonight. That gets going at 5 o'clock. Major League Baseball getting going just after 4 o'clock. You have the Brewers in Cleveland taking on the Guardians, then the Tigers, Red Sox, Cards in Philadelphia, Cubbies host the Marlins, Royals taking on the Astros, Yankees in Seattle, and the Giants battle the Diamondbacks. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll ask 5 questions. Also, we'll talk to Danny Webster about the Vegas Golden Knights, and it is your next chance to qualify for Here Comes the Sun. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, the Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
I take possession of my commercial space in 3 months. I need lighting. I need a fire alarm. I need data. I need a generator. I need panels.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Projects team reporting. We design, build, and construct all the electrical systems for your projects. Need everything to work right? Get the Action Electrical project team on your site.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
Mr. Ruther hits the gym.
As a new Mr. Ruther plumber, you get access to our company gym.
Nice. Where's the equipment?
Over here, we have a variety of tight pickle jars. Open those up to work out your pipe wrenching muscles. We've got your standard weighted plungers, and over here, a pipe wrench.
Why is that guy forcing his body into a suitcase?
He's getting limber. A good plumber must be able to fit under any sink.
For a plumber who always works out, call Mr. Ruther.
Low Tide, Jason Gregor. They are all ready for the Cup run. Sports 1440 is your home for all things hockey, including our pre- and post-game show with Andrew Walker. Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader.
Spring style and road-ready performance are more affordable than ever. Now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save up to $5,000. Lease a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 4.9% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save $2,000. Get ready for the open road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services, only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Get ready to revolutionize your job site with Edmonton Kubota's game-changing compact construction equipment. From mini excavators and skid steers to track loaders, carriers, and utility vehicles, they have a model to fit every need, all powered by legendary Kubota diesel engines. These machines are built for performance and reliability. Transform your work with Edmonton Kubota's top-of-the-line compact equipment. Visit them today and see why they're the name you can trust for power and precision.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team in Old Strathcona have special training dedicated to reducing the impact of cancer care before, during, and after their diagnosis. From lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, they can help. Learn more at leadingedgephysio.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Little House of Pain for you. That's what the Oilers are hoping to have tonight at Rogers Place. A little House of Pain for the Las Vegas Golden Knights. A few lineup changes for the Edmonton Oilers. Arvidsson's out. Kapanen's in. Emberson's out. Stetcher is in. No lineup changes for Vegas. It looks like Mark Stone is going to play. Didn't finish game 3, but looks like no worse for wear, and he'll be back in the lineup. Coach didn't want to commit to it 100%, but Stone took every rush that they did in practice. They even worked on their power play, and he was on the number 1 unit with Dorofeev. So if you knew the guy wasn't playing, why would you run him on your number 1 power play to practice? That wouldn't make much sense. So I'm pretty certain you're going to see him in the lineup tonight. It is the Jason Gregor Show, as always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. There's no better place to get in the game than at PlayAlberta.ca, whether it's sports, lottery, or casino. With the all-new app, you can bet on sports, spin the slots, and hit the tables. Check it out at PlayAlberta.ca. Come say hi if you want. We're live and on the rocks, Jasper Ave, and 118th Street. You get set for the game. Hope you're having an awesome day. And come in. You got $2 hot dogs tonight at OTR. Although I got to get the word right, because my son mentioned it the other day, and I was like, What are you talking about? But did you know Connor Halley? Do you know what the kids are calling hot dogs today?
I have a guess, but I'd like to hear it from you first.
Glizzies.
That was my guess. Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah. And because we were driving by and Riverside, the sign in St. Albert at Riverside, one of our sponsors, was like, $2 glizzies. And I'm like, that was a glizzy. And my son's like, Dad, you know what a glizzy is? I'm like, no. It's like, it's a hot dog. And I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, he's like, yeah, it's a way better name. And I'm like, well, it's actually true. I actually don't mind the name Glizzy over a hot dog. So, hey, it's $2 glizzies. I might have to tell OTR. Got to get into the new age. Although not necessarily serving the kids here, but glizzies. Who knew? Who knew?
Clearly, where does it come from, though? Like,
I have no idea. Like,
did someone just make it up and it stuck, or
is
it another language? it translates. Like I'm curious about the origin of the name
of the Glizzies.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Got to ask. Got to ask one of the kids what's coming up with the Glizzies. I haven't. Who knows? But hey, whatever works, man. All I know is if they're $2, they're good. They are good. Now, let's get to Here Comes the Sun. And your opportunity to qualify to win a $15,000 turnkey solar system for your home. This is unreal. We're going to do the draw next Friday, May 26th. This is the last week dinner. So, a few things. You need to be a homeowner. You need to have, now you can keep it for yourself or you can gift it. And as long as you live in Edmonton or 50-kilometer radius, or you want to gift it to somebody who lives there. So if you live out of town, but you're going to gift it to someone, totally worth it. Okay, it works. Ideally, your shingles are 12 years or newer. Otherwise, you're going to be spending way too much money because you're going to have to replace your shingles a few years after you get the solar put on. That's not ideal. So those are some of the stipulations. Pretty simple, but $15,000 just for the installation, not to mention all the money you'll be saving all the years by having solar. We've had it out at the farm. We had it at the farm. I should say we don't own it anymore. We sold it. But I'm telling you, it was a huge saver for my mom. Like massive. Anybody's on a farm knows you get in the wintertime, man, those bills, you got the heat lamps and everything going on. So your water tanks and everything isn't freezing. I'm telling you, it was a huge saving. So today we're going to do a little bit of interactive. The people who listen and the people who are watching are going to collide and cross over. So we have a code word up right now on Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. You can see it on X as well. It's very simple. You get the code word, and then you text it to us at 833-401-1440. Very simple. The code word. It's right up on the screen. You can't miss it. Text it to 833-401-1440. The code word with your name. We'll give you the whole segment, so you have time. Fine. It's very easy. Anybody can play. Just text in the code word 833-401-1440, and away you go. So, hey guys, it's a hot dizzle from Andrew. Is that what it is for the hot talk? So funny. Hey Greg, think there's any chance they'd bring lacrosse back? The last I asked, because if they're going to do it, OEG is really the only one. That's the only place you could play it, right? They have the facility, so that's really the only way I've seen it. My last time I'd asked them, which is a year ago, it wasn't. They wouldn't rule it out 100%, but it wasn't in the near future of things they were going to do, which is unfortunate. I think it's better for the city when you have it, but that's just me. So I think it's way better. Now, let's hear from Mr. White Cloud, defenseman for Vegas, as we get to the oil report brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton. The May Day event goes on only through the end of the month. It's your last month where you can get unbelievable savings. The XC60, XC90, you can lease them for and get 0.49% financing on the 60s and 1.49% financing on the 90s. And save $3,000 and $5,000 respectively. So check it out at playalberta.ca. And Zach Whitecloud was just, it's kind of a two-parter. You can listen to the first one. And he's just talking about, what he feels like he's liked about their team's game as of late.
Obviously, it's no secret you got to stay over top of them, starting from their end out, right, and limiting their speed. And I thought a lot of our guys have been doing a good job being responsible in that aspect. And obviously, I think holding on to pucks in their ozone is definitely a key to keeping them down there, as long as possible, limiting their speed coming up. And the more you play in the ozone and the more you hang on to pucks and recover pucks off shots and plays and things like that, the more you're going to spend time down there.
Game one, they had more extended zone time, but since then, you've really limited their ability to stay in the zone for any extended period of time. What's changed? What have you done better the last two games to not allow them to have extended zone time?
I think the same goes for both teams, quite honestly. I think the more you go through a series, the more you learn about the other team's lines and their tendencies and things like that. And, it's no secret. We know each other pretty well over the past couple of years. So I think it's more so just kind of understanding what each team's trying to do. And obviously teams are making adjustments moving forward, right? And I think closing off, not allowing them to kind of get moving in our D zone, taking care of the front of our net first and foremost is obviously key to our success. And limiting, I think their speed kind of come through the neutral zone and making plays off the rush. They're a pretty dangerous team. So being responsible that way and just closing things off the blue line as quick as you can.
Yeah. So there you go. That's Zach Whitecloud. You can check out Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook for Orders Nation, and you get the code word. It's I can't give it to you, but it's very easy. It's right there. You can't miss it. And text into 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440, and you'll have a chance to get in the draw. Super simple. Your odds are going to be a little bit better today than normal. That's all I'm saying. So, although it's starting to pick up, people got to go find it. It's easy. Just go to Orders Nation YouTube. Check out our Facebook page. You can follow me, our Sports 1440 on Twitter or Instagram. You can see our feed is live right there as well, and you won't miss it. Very, very easy. Other news and notes from around the world of sports. So we have a lot of texts coming in. Guys, why is Arvidsson out? I thought he's played quite well. Well, I can't really answer the question. Now, is he banged up? I guess there's a chance he's banged up, but it doesn't seem like it's anything significant. He was on the ice. He stayed on the ice working hard, but he might have a nagging little thing that they're just like, you know what? We got to make a change. So he comes out. Some people said, why are you putting in Kapanen over Jeff Skinner? Well, Arvidsson's a right winger. Skinner's a left winger. So if you bring in Skinner, who can't play the right side, then you're going to have to move one of Kane, one of Podkolzin, Nugent Hopkins, Frederick over to the right side. Now, you could do it. Frederick has played right wing before, but obviously the coach felt Kapanen was the better guy to put in right now. Said he wants to play faster. Kapanen is faster than Skinner. Now, is he more effective overall? Statistics would say no. If you're looking for offense. Maybe they've got some numbers on board battles. I think they look at speed and everything. This hasn't been an overly physical series to date. To be honest, there hasn't been a lot of animosity or scrums. Vegas just doesn't play that way. They don't take a lot of penalties. Edmonton's not an overly penalized team either. And you know what? They're both pretty disciplined. So we haven't seen a lot of roughs. I'm still kind of amazed. We haven't seen one tilt yet in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So at least that I can remember, unless one's happened over the weekend that I didn't see. So it's been a little bit quieter in that sense. So. But as far as Arvidsson, maybe he's nicked up. I can't say he is, and I haven't heard that he is. So I don't want to make up stuff. I haven't heard that he is. And sounds like it's just coach's decision. I think Emerson comes in for Stetcher for a few reasons. They really like Troy Stetcher's game down the stretch. Emerson's not playing huge minutes. And I do think Stetcher is a little bit quicker, and he is a better puck mover. Now, Emerson's better on the penalty kill, but you're not taking a ton of penalties in this series, right? So I don't know. Are you going to dress a guy just for those two? Now, here's the thing. Well, you might not have a lot of them. It's still super important because Vegas's power play has been pretty good. Now, they didn't score last game. So, that's progress for Edmonton, hopefully, but we'll see. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You can text in our code word today if you want to qualify for Here Comes the Sun, a $15,000 turnkey solar system for your home. How do you find out what the code word is? Very simple. Go to our YouTube page, Facebook, Instagram, X, whether it's Orders Nation, Sports 1440, and you can see the live feed there, and it's right on the screen. You can't miss it. It's pretty big, bold, orange letters. It says the code word is blank. It cannot get any easier. We could not make it easier for you to enter, and someone will have a chance to get in the draw and qualify. Hey, Gregor, what's your thoughts on Ken Holland potentially being the GM in LA? I thought he was retired. Why did the Orders let him go? That one comes from Grant in BC. Well, I think when Jeff Jackson took over that final year, it was the final year of Ken Holland's contract. And clearly, Ken wasn't ready to step away. They just felt like the organization was going to go in a different direction. They felt like they wanted somebody who was a little bit more open-minded to analytics. Not that Ken was against it, but they just wanted to up it a bit. And now looking back, and that's fine if you would have wanted to do it, but in a perfect world, I don't think you would have had the gap between Holland and Bowman, right? Because you had a time, free agency, where you didn't have an experienced general manager. And I think at the time it showed. So, now it didn't neuter the team. Right? It hasn't crushed them, but you look at Arvidsson and Skinner, two of those free agent signings, and neither one's in the lineup tonight. So not necessarily ideal, if we're being 100% honest. Now, some of the other moves have definitely worked. We can all agree with that, right? Since Bowman's took over, right? Podkolzin for a fourth rounder. That's been a really good trade for them. Klingberg for nothing, midseason free agent signing. That's worked out very well. Jake Wallman trade has worked out. Trent Frederick trade. Now, the Frederick trade will look like a home run to me if they re-sign him. So far, it's looked like pretty good. You know what? Hey, if you give up a run, you win a round. Maybe they win 2 rounds. We'll see. Maybe they go all the way to the final. We'll see. And obviously, the deeper they go and Frederick contributes, well, that makes it look better. But I would still like that trade even more if you can re-sign him. And I look at Trent Frederick, and you look at projections and everything on contracts and stuff. Like, I don't think he's going to cost you a huge amount of money. He's unique in the fact that he's got some decent hands, and he's also got a physical element to his game, and there's just not a lot of those players in today's NHL. So he's a little bit of a sought-after unicorn. He's not going to go crazy, I don't think, in free agency, but I could see him probably commanding $3.5 million and around there, 2-3-year deal. Because I don't think he wants to sign longer than that, because he feels like, hey, I'm only 27. I still got some better years coming off an injury season. I talked to him again today, and we'll play that interview. Actually, let's play Frederick right now, Con, man. Just talk to Trent again. Just, here it is now, and we've seen the progression for him, just, the day-to-day and how he's feeling, if it's getting better for his ankle.
Yeah, I mean, TD's done a great job. Obviously, we've tweaked some things to help it, and I think that's helped a lot. And so, I don't know, I think every game it's starting to feel better. Sometimes maybe a touch of a setback, but nothing too crazy, nothing like how it was originally, and definitely feel better from game 1, 2 to the rest of the game. So.
Vegas' style is, big, heavy defense, and their whole team, from their penalty kill to 5-on-5, they don't really want anybody to get to the net. Your big body, you feel even more important. How do you ensure that you guys are getting more traffic in front to create more chances than you have the last 2 games?
Yeah, I think myself personally need to get there more. I think, honestly, sometimes when you get to that point in hockey of just getting it low to high and get some shots on net, see a lot of other playoff games, and that's how a lot of the goals are scored. And so we probably haven't had as many of those as we'd like, but I think part of it's just doing it more.
When you say you do it more, is there easier ways or more effective ways to get to the net and get yourself in a position to create something?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's a mindset. I mean, they're fronting pucks too, so they do a good job of that. So sometimes you can be there and have a great screen, but the D-man is fronting pucks, and that can make it hard. So it's just about kind of, boxing out. I mean, watch someone like Parrish, he's very good at it. Getting into them first, and little stuff like that can help.
Connor McDavid spoke about how, he wants to see more sustained offensive zone pressure time. You had in game 1, haven't had it really much since.
Yeah.
Your line obviously was very effective at that in game 1. What were you doing in game 1 that you want to get back to allowing more offensive zone?
Yeah, I think, I played in that D zone. It's very hard on the center. The center does a lot of work. I think kind of switching sides and even giving rim outs just makes it very difficult. I know playing in that system as a center, it can be very hard to work back and forth. And that's something you can do in the second period. It's something you can take advantage of and set up the next line.
And just, losses in the playoffs, they all hurt. Some seem to hurt more than others, just like some wins feel better. How do you ensure that last game doesn't carry over to tonight?
Yeah, I think you just got to put it aside. I mean, we're playing at home. This is a great opportunity. We did the job there, and now we need to do the job here. And I don't know. I think you just kind of forget about that and go out and play our best game.
There you go. That's Trent Frederick. And I like what he said. From low to high, that's how you create a lot of offense, and they haven't had enough of it. And so, Edmonton, and we'll talk to Kevin Woodley about, attacking Aiden Hill. We saw it in game 1. Go glove. That's where they want to get some success at. and they'll want to continue to go there. I think Vegas has done a much better job in games 2 and 3 of limiting Edmonton's quality chances. So that'll play a factor in it, no question. Edmonton got up to a good start, 2 goals early on. And then after that, it was kind of like a reversal of game 1. Game 1, Vegas was up 2-0, 9 minutes into the game. And then after that, Edmonton just shut them down 5-on-5. They had like 6 shots 5-on-5 the rest of the game. And Vegas did very similar to Edmonton after Corey Perry scored his 2 goals. They didn't score till late when McDavid had, his shot go in off the skate of McNabb. They really limited Edmonton's chances. So Edmonton, you know what? They'll want to be better with their line change. That's the other thing we haven't even talked about. God, they had 2 awful line changes last game that they got to be better at and cost them goals. Right? Like small little details matter. But I look at Edmonton tonight. You've got to find a way to generate more. You just have to. You can't. Vegas, everybody's susceptible at some point. It's hard. But if it was easy, everybody would do it. We'll come back. We'll announce the winner in our qualifier today for Here Comes the Sun. Also, Danny Webster will join us. We'll talk about Vegas. Obviously, they want to keep rolling. They've liked what they've done, but they're always looking to tweak. But what is it that they've really liked and maybe things they'll be looking for, especially with Edmonton likely splitting up McDavid and Draisaitl? We'll talk about those matchups when we return on the Jason Gregor Show live and on the Rocks, Jasper Ave, 118th Street, your place to watch the game tonight. $2 hot dogs for you and all sorts of food and beverage specials during the game here at OTR. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price, starting at just $1 plus tax for a small, great tasting coffee every single day. Must be McCafe.
Truck Month is on now at GMC, and it's one of the best times to get behind the wheel. Right now, get a $5,000 cash purchase credit on 2025 Sierra HD models with a 13.4-inch diagonal center touchscreen, an available Duramax 6.6-liter turbo diesel V8 engine with 470 horsepower. Plus, the most trailering assistance technologies in its class. Sierra has some serious hauling power and is the only off-road ready HD. Truck Month is on now. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
The locks are on a timer. They're going to get out.
Sounds like a job, sir. The men and women of Action Electrical.
Service team reporting. With the remarkable reach of our bucket trucks and other equipment, we assess, service, and maintain your electrical lighting and automation systems.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
The Bricks tent sale is on now. With so many items to clear out, they've had to set up tents in the parking lot. Save up to 60% off clearance items in the tent and store. With new specials every day and a bonus gift with furniture purchases over $9.99, these offers won't last long. Save up to 50% off select mattresses, up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture, and the more you buy, the more you save. Up to an extra $1,000 off appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman. Are you ready, guys?
We were born ready. Heck yes, Nuge. Drop the beat.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
We freaking killed it, Nuge. That's what I'm talking about, Zachary Martin Hyman.
Nice guys. We're going to sell a lot of air conditioners.
Hey, doesn't Legacy offer no payments and no interest for a year on those?
Yeah, well, thanks for the assist on the copy points there, Nuge.
It's just what I do.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
When you get into a new RAV4,
you might suddenly find yourself camping, even if the closest you've been to nature is your houseplants. Because with all-wheel drive, you can get in and right out of there. All that's left to do is drive it home. Get in and go right now at Toyota, where you can lease a 2025 RAV4 LE all-wheel drive from $96 weekly for 60 months at 6.59% with $3,899 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Prairie Toyota dealer today.
The Finning sales event is May 22nd from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. at Finning. Kick off the weekend with a huge sale where you can demo all the latest cat equipment. Plus, get 0% financing and a free cat cooler with equipment purchase. Test your skills with a mini operator challenge for prizes and grab some food. Big day, big savings, big machines. Don't miss the Finning sales event, May 22nd, 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. at Finning in Edmonton, 10910 170th Street.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan for all your residential water needs. Your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles, Culligan.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
425. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, X, Instagram, Facebook, sports1440.ca. Also, I know many of you diehard Oilers fans spread across the country, even into the U.S., listening through the app. Thank you very much. Remember, if you're in the U.S., just have 5G, and you can pick it up no problem at iHeartRadio, Radio Player, or Stingray app. So enjoy it. Now, let's get to our qualifier. The code word, by the way, was win. Very simple. It was on our all of our platforms online. You can watch or listen to the show. And our qualifier today is Maria. Maria, congratulations. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I am excellent. Give me your thoughts. Oilers, what's happening tonight?
Oh, I think they'll pull it off.
Oh, confident.
I'm pretty confident.
Pretty confident. I like it. Are you a calm fan when you watch the games?
No, not generally. No.
Now, like, does that are you a pacer? Do you have to leave the room? Are you a cursor? What happens?
Well, I'm a cursor. I've got a potty mouth.
Nice. I like the honesty. Hey, that's okay. The emotions get the best of everybody in the playoffs. Well, Maria, congratulations. You're in. You've qualified. You can keep it or you can gift it. The $15,000 turnkey system courtesy of Action Electrical.
Sounds good. That's awesome.
Stay on the line, Connor. There's one final step with an email. Super easy, and then you're in the draw.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason.
There you go. Our next chance to qualify tomorrow in the 4 o'clock hour. Remember, Wednesdays we do it in the 3 o'clock hour. It's 4-4-3-4-4. Okay, Wednesdays are always at 3 o'clock, just to keep you on your toes. So there you have it. 4:27. Now let's go in the room. Brought to you by Action Electrical. They're all over the place this hour. I love it. Of course, Action Electrical, one of Alberta's most diversified electrical contractors. Obviously, they get back to our audience. So, hey, if you're ever thinking you need any electrical needs, actionelectrical.net. As we're going to talk a little Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights. We go in the Golden Knights room. Danny Webster, beat reporter for the Golden Knights, joins us. And Danny, obviously, Vegas right now has to feel pretty good about their game. They've really limited Edmonton the last 2 games. I think we're going to see McDavid and Draisaitl split up tonight. We saw snippets of it in the last game. I'm assuming Jack Eichel is going to get more of McDavid. Which line do you see going up against Draisaitl majority of the time?
I think that one would probably be the Carlson line. If they were able to find a way to dictate the matchup there, even though they're not going to have last change, I could see Carlson drawing the Draisaitl line a little bit more. But honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if Carlson drew McDavid a little bit, especially in the very beginning. I know the Eichel line was matched up with him to start Game 3, but I do think probably as the game goes on and the Oilers try to dictate the matchup, I wouldn't be surprised if that kind of switches later on, especially if you want to get Eichel going, especially if Stone is ready to go, which I presume he is going to be. So I wouldn't be shocked if they change it a little bit, just kind of hopefully see what they can get offensively. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see a little bit more of a balanced game tonight from both sides.
You look at Vegas's structure, and I think, Game 1, Edmonton controlled it. They got to do what they wanted to do. They beat Vegas with a lot of stretch passes through the neutral zone. Games 2 and 3, even though Vegas lost Game 2, I thought they probably were pretty happy with how they played, and then that carried over into Game 3. You watched them all year long, Danny. Have you ever seen, like, when they get in trouble, what have teams done to them to get them in trouble defensively?
I think that they're a team that has been more so doomed on their own mistakes. And you kind of saw that in Game 2, where a couple of turnovers here, a couple bad plays in goal here from Adin Hill, and suddenly they're behind the 8 ball down 3-1. I truly think when you look at this team, it's more self-inflicted than anything. Their structure has always been good. Their structure defensively in front of the goal has always been solid. For the last couple of months of the regular season, it's always been really solid. There's not really one area where you can look at and say that this is how you attack them defensively, and all of a sudden, they're on their heels. I think that the Golden Knights have always found a way to really overcome any of that. The only problem really for the Golden Knights, from looking at it from a broad lens, the only ones that can beat them really is themselves. And I mean, you look at how Game 2 unfolded. If they don't give up those 2 goals in the second period that Adin Hill probably should have stopped, they probably win that game, and they're the ones that are up 2-1 in this series right now. So it's a lot of, one chance here, one chance there, and then suddenly the Golden Knights find themselves reeling. But when they're on, they're usually one of the more consistent teams in the league, and we kind of saw snippets of that in Game 3. So if anybody's really going to beat them, most of the time it's themselves, and they can't allow that to happen when McDavid and Draisaitl are probably chomping at the bits to get ready to go tonight.
Do you know what the Mark Stone was? It looked like it's a wrist. It sounds like, and I watched the morning skate today. I'd be stunned if he's not playing. Was it just a wrist injury? And any idea, any further input on what that would have kept him out for the game? But now he's good to return 2 days later.
Yeah, the first angle I saw, I thought it was his head. I think we all thought it was his head at first, but fortunately it wasn't. It looked like his wrist. It looked like it collided with Perry's knee as he was sliding onto the ice. With Mark Stone, it doesn't ultimately surprise me that he would go tonight, because he's the guy that would probably, if he had one leg chopped off, he'd still find a way to skate with one leg in a must-win game. So it doesn't shock me from that standpoint, but as far as probably what kept him out, I'm pretty sure it's one of those situations where it just wasn't cooperating with him, especially if I remember correctly, it was probably his right hand, and that's his shooting hand mostly. So that probably wasn't cooperating once after a couple of more shifts after the injury happened. So he probably just needed some rest, probably got a whole day yesterday to recover. And to the shock of nobody, like you said, he's probably going to go tonight and probably play to the pain, much like what Brady McNabb had to do the other night.
Dorofeev, it looked like he was practicing on the number 1 power play unit where he resided most of the season, second on their team in power play goals, first on their team in goals. Since he's returned, he's obviously still banged up, I think, because he doesn't look like the player I saw in the regular season. You see him more, but you see him kind of laboring.
Not really laboring. I think probably just to get up to speed a little bit. But I talked to him a little bit off to the side today, and he said he was feeling a little fine. He was just happy to get back with the group. And, the way he kind of put it to me was that, everyone's going through these kind of things this time of year. It's one of those situations where, he didn't want to kind of forcefully kind of insert himself back into the lineup when he knows that probably one wrong turn and suddenly whatever was hurting him is probably going to be at its worst. I think getting back up to speed, playing against a team like Edmonton, where the hurdle line is going to initially was going to match up with the likes of wherever Zach Hyman was, and you were going to deal with that kind of a big bruising type of line on your opposite side. I think he's probably laboring. I think a lot of the guys that are hurt are laboring, but to me, I thought he looked fine. You know, he obviously, I think he only had one shot on goal in game 3, so it's not ultimately what you want to see from him. But I think the fact that get another game with him, Hurl, and Olsen to kind of see where their chemistry is at, and they like to play off each other in terms of that, you know, quick release art in the offense when Hurdle gets to the offensive zone. I think that you'll probably see a little bit more of a more comfortable Pavel Dorofeyev tonight, especially now that he's back in the lineup and feeling pretty good about himself.
Danny, I know the Vegas was having a little fun with it today. They had the tape outline of their trainer on the bench after Hurdle basically cross-checked him in the face. You know, had a little temper tantrum, slammed his stick in, caught him in the face. And, you know, luckily nothing came of it. But is there like an internal fine here that Hurdle's got to pay? Is he paying him for dinner here on the rest of the playoffs? What's happening?
Oh, I'm pretty sure there has to be like a steak dinner or something coming along the lines there. And, you know, the fact that the one person that was probably more apologetic than anybody that could have ever happened in that situation is Tomas Hurdle. And he probably definitely felt bad about that whole situation. But, you know, the whole room and even Mike Muir was definitely laughing it off yesterday from what I had heard. Just a lot of good vibes, especially the fact that they won game 3. I don't think anybody would be laughing if they were down 3-0 and that happened. But the fact that they were able to get the win the other night and, you know, still having a little bit of an enjoyable moment is definitely good, I think, for the locker room. But it would not shock me in the least if it was a steak dinner or two coming Mike Muir's way over the next little bit here.
Well, the way they won that game, because they'd controlled most of it. They had a little bit of an unlucky break. McDavid scores off of McNabb, and everybody in the building probably thinks you're going to overtime. You know, Riley didn't even know exactly how much time left, and Skinner forced him to put a shot that didn't even hit the net. And if it doesn't hit Draisaitl stick, it's a tie game. But, you know, winning in that fashion in Vegas because they probably maybe deserved a better fate in game 2 and didn't get it. Maybe they were thinking, oh my God, here we go again in game 3. You know, they haven't been down 2-1 very often, right? Like usually they're kind of controlling series. What do you make of, you know, their ability to bounce back? And Edmonton obviously is a team that's won 7 game 4s in a row, including one against Vegas back when they were down 2-1 in the series. Like, you know, this is a big game, but, you know, obviously the psyche of Vegas will be a lot better. But do they, when you talk to those guys, do you feel like they feel like, okay, you know, we're getting back in control of the series where maybe we weren't early on?
I think so. You know, it's a group that's won. It's a group that knows how to win. And like you said, they haven't been down 2-1 very often. But I do, it's a little bit of different of a situation than what they went through in 21 when they faced Colorado in the second round. The only other time that they've been trailing in a series 2-0. But, you know, completely different situation. They lost both the games in Colorado before coming back to win the next 4. This one, you lose the first 2 at home and you have to go on the road. And, you know, that rink was absolutely electric. The first time I'd been in Rogers Place, and that place was absolutely off the chain the other night. But when you talk about this group, they know how to win. They know how to get there. They are as even-keeled of a group as you could possibly imagine in this kind of situation. I think that starts with Bruce Cassidy and the way that he conducts his business, and it eventually works its way down to those players. And I think if you talk to all of those guys in the room, there's not a more confident bunch, I feel, of a team that's down 2-1 in a series that won the game that way the other night and can feel confident going into game 4, knowing that if they're able to bring this back to Vegas 2-2, home ice is back in their favor and they got to feel pretty good about themselves. So, I mean, this is a group that, you know, maybe hasn't faced a lot of playoff adversity over the last couple of years under Bruce Cassidy, but they have faced enough adversity to where they know how to right the ship quickly. And I think the fact that they were able to not only just win the other night, but win the game in the fashion that they did, the momentum swings in this series are very interesting. And if the Golden Knights are able to come out of here with 2 wins in Edmonton and go back with 2 of the next 3, possibly at T-Mobile Arena, you're probably not going to find a more confident group than this team.
Well, Danny, should be a hell of a game tonight. Obviously, lots on the line. Edmonton can take a commanding 3-1 series lead. Vegas can get back in and suddenly regain home ice advantage. So lots on the line. I look forward to it. And as loud as it was in Game 3, I'm expecting it to be even louder tonight at Rogers. So it should be a great atmosphere. Look forward to seeing you down there. Have a great day.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jason.
That's Danny Webster joining us from longtime beat reporter for the Vegas Golden Knights. And hey, the Oilers, everybody knows what's up. I think they just got to play better. And I think they're capable of playing better. I think Edmonton, they got that good lead, but then they weren't able to take advantage of it. They didn't really take over the game, even though they were up 2-0. So for me, you got to get up and then stay up. Leads have been almost insignificant. I think you want to get back to say, hey, the lead means something for the Edmonton Oilers. Because if they have a lead going in the third period, they've been great in the third period. So that's where they'll try to have to find a way. You think about their 2 losses in the third, they came in the last minute of the game. Game 1 and Game 3 of these first 2 series. 4:39, we'll take a quick break. We'll return to the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes, fittedgolf.ca.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take 1 for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just
Sean Brown, Sports
The
1440.
new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton is ready for the power play 24/7 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection.
Sean Brown, Connor Halley with you. Game day, just
legendary service.
4
Don't sit
hours.
on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an ewel.ca account
Order
today.
section, YouTube, Facebook.
The My Choice sales event is back at Nissan, where you can get the all-new boldly redesigned Kicks with best-in-class cargo space. Right now, choose Kicks S front-wheel drive with $1,200 in Nissan bonus or accessory credit, or choose 3-year prepaid maintenance. The choice is yours with My Choice. Hurry in. These offers won't last long. Head to your local Nissan dealer and make your choice today. Available in leasing or financing through NCF. Conditions apply. See Nissan.ca for details.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
When you need to get away to find a hidden gem where beauty meets serenity, Silver Creek Golf and RV Resort offers a breathtaking experience. With an exquisite 27-hole course, a fabulous restaurant, peaceful camping sites, the list goes on. Whether you spend the day or even the weekend, there's no shortage of ways to have the time of your life. Call Silver Creek Golf and RV Resort to book your ticket today. 780-855-3982. Online at silvercreekgolfcourse.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We have for sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensors, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.444, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having an awesome day. We got a few minutes left in our prize today because we're going to give it away. It's currently at $9.25. Below face value for tonight's game, the Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights. Two great seats in lower bowl. If you want it, it's at $9.25, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. So you can text in with your name and your bid if you want to go to the game tonight. Now, let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. You can save up to 60% off clearance furniture, off clearance mattresses, and off scratch and dent appliances, but only until Thursday at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1. The tradition, game day prediction for game 4, and who's going to score the first goal?
Go ahead.
Well, of course, I think the Oilers are going to bounce back. It'll be tough to have too much of a worse performance than that one. So let's say the Oilers clamp down a little bit defensively. A 4-2 win and first goal of the game. Everybody loves a little redemption story. Leon Draisaitl.
Ooh. Well, the Oilers are 7-0 in their last game 4s. And I don't think they like their performance. Leon Draisaitl didn't like his performance. The Oilers, I have them winning 4-2 tonight. Opening goal, I'll go Zach Hyman.
I like it. Okay, question number 2 for you. Let's just say, hypothetically, Stuart Skinner's walking on the ice. You're the last one there. You got to give him a little advice. What would you say to him?
Oh, just play within yourself. Nothing more.
Let's say, have fun. You're a grown man playing a kid's game. Have fun. Question number 3 for you. Austin Matthews has just 2 goals in the playoffs in 10 games so far. So in this postseason, will he make it to the 5-goal mark?
Oh, he's at 2, right?
2, yes.
Yeah. I would think this series is going to go 7. So 3-3. Ooh. Well, I pick Florida to win, so I'm going to say no.
He's so good. I'm going to say yes. I think he's got a 2-goal game in him. And my newfound sense of patriotism has me hoping the Leafs beat the Panthers. So I will say they advance, and he gets it anyways. Question number 4. Reports Giannis Antetokounmpo will look potentially into free agency and could be on the move. Now, there's some reports saying he's intrigued by a non-income tax state as a landing spot. But where would you like to see him play next season?
Well, I think it's more the injury to Damon Lillard. Let's call a spade here. They went out and got everything he wanted, and now it's not going to work. Where would I want to see him play? Well, I guess selfishly OKC, but I'm not sure they need him. So I look at which teams out there. Obviously, lots of teams could use him. I don't even have the salary cap in front of me to find out who can afford it. Obviously, there's the luxury tax, and so that some might not care. If I'm him, though, the power is in the West. I'm going to stay in the East. And you know what? I'm going to go to Cleveland. I just like to see Cleveland. I don't know, something about it. They're not a team, whatever. Or the Detroit Pistons. I know it's not a no-state tax, but I'll go Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be something for sure. My bias pick would be Toronto, but if you want to avoid taxes, that might not be the best spot. I'll say Florida team for Declan. I'm saying the Miami Heat. I think he would love to see that happen, and I'd like to see it for his sake. So that's where I'll go, the Miami Heat. Question number 5 for you. According to the internet, today is Homer Simpson's 69th birthday. Obviously, every week he gets into a crazy adventure, but what would you say was your favorite Homer Simpson storyline?
Probably when he had to eat his pet crab. God. Or is it a lobster? Whichever one it was.
Pinchy, yeah.
Yeah, Pinchy. And he's eating it, but he's crying because he loves Pinchy so much, but he loves how it tasted. Oh, that was a classic Homer. Like, they had so many, but that one always just made me laugh.
For me, I love the episode where they're playing a game at the start of the episode, and Homer plays one of the adults. It's a kid's game, and he's in such bad shape, so he decides to go to the gym. Thinks it's called a Gime. He's so thrown off, and then he starts eating Power Sauce fitness bars and decides to climb the Murderhorn, Springfield's tallest mountain. And the Power Sauce people help him do so. He's got Sherpas dragging him up the mountain to help him get the job done. One of my favorite episodes. So that would probably be the one for me.
All right. Well, there's lots of laughs in the old Homer Simpson playbook. I can tell you that. Lots of laughs. That guy, there's lots of humor going on with Homer Simpson. Like sometimes they're just so stupid, but it was so funny. Which like if you had to pick the greatest, it's kind of like asking what's the greatest Seinfeld episode. There's lots that you're going to put up for grabs. Lots that would go in there. And Homer would probably be right in the exact same boat, I would think. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't. Now, a few other texts, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, my name is Mr. Burns. Okay, Mr. Burns, what's your first name? I don't know.
I don't know.
Classic. Hey, guys, what about the Sherpas when they left Homer? Classic from Norman a Combine. You know what? Actually, my buddy Rod, remember on the broadcast here recently, there was a picture from Mount Everest, right? And that was my buddy Rod. Was him and his girlfriend? They just went there, and he was telling me about. So he sent me a picture. He showed me this picture of the Sherpas, and they're going they just went to base camp, right? Because I didn't even know that there's only like a 2 to 3 week period that you can really summit Mount Everest just because of the weather and everything else. And so, they were there at base camp right here recently. And that's when people are preparing, coming up here the next 2 weeks. That's when you try to make your climb up there. And anyway, so I talked to some of the people who are going to try it. But anyway, the Sherpas, because they're the ones that carry a lot of people's, extra bags and food and whatever. And he showed a picture of the Sherpa. They're bringing up like a stove in pieces cons. And you got to remember, anybody who's ever done it, like you're hiking up a mountain and the Sherpa's got this massive thing on, just strapped to his back, and he was passing people on the way up, and like Rod's in really good shape. Like I go hiking with him, I got to hustle to keep up to him, and he's like, yeah, this is unreal. Like these Sherpa guys, like they're next level. Now, obviously, they're used to the high elevation all the time, but still, he says it was unbelievable to see just how much weight they would carry and how quickly they could move up those hills, man. Like, well, it's not a hill, it's obviously a mountain, and so for the Sherpas from Homer, that just kind of brought me to that one. So
did you say stove?
Yeah. It was like it was a stove in pieces.
Jeez Louise. Okay.
Yeah. So it was like, dude, I should get him to see the picture because he showed it to me on his phone. Now it was a little bit grainy because it was from far away, but you can see it on his back, and I'm just like, oh my God. Like, and he just says, man, like their legs are they're not even that. Some of them, it's not like they got like big tree trunks for legs. They got good cardio, and they've been doing it the whole time. And they are strong as an ox, no question about it. So that's pretty good. So I like it. A few other news and notes, and a lot of people wondering why Arvidsson's being scratched. I can't give you the answer. I know we've talked about it, but I don't know the answer because Knobloch just said there was going to be lineup changes. I figured out who was out just by watching practice afterwards, but he didn't go into details as why Arvidsson's out. I guess there's a slight chance he got nicked up last game. But he was practicing, and he was out late working hard. So it might just be the coach is saying, hey, we're making a change. Right? I know that Emberson's not injured, and they just brought in Troy Stetcher, so he'll make his Oilers playoff debut tonight. Remember last year, he was hurt and couldn't play in the playoffs, had the cyst removed from his ankle. He had the surgery, so he was done. Not sure he would have played anyway, but he didn't get in. Troy Stetcher's played really well for the Oilers when he comes in. One thing you know you're going to get from Stetcher is 1,000% effort. His competitiveness is there. I think he moves the puck a little bit quicker than Emberson. Now, is he as good on the penalty kill? And make sure, like, even though Oilers might only take 2 penalties in the game, well, maybe 3, the penalty kill is hugely important. And Emberson is usually on the first unit, the bottom right on the penalty kill. So is Emberson going to go there, or are they going to put Bouchard there? Or sorry, is Stetcher going to go there, or are they going to put Bouchard there? That's something to watch for tonight. So, hey, boys, favorite Homer scene was when the family had the swear jar and Homer steps on the nail. Fiddly diddly dee. That will acquire a tetanus shot. Junior D. Oh, swear jars. Yeah. Hey, boys, what about Giannis, the Golden State? Hey, never know, man. Put the big man in there with Steph Curry? Wouldn't be bad. You can't count them out, can you? Like, there's certain teams that are always going to make a splash. But if I'm Giannis and I'm just playing the odds, there's more highly competitive teams in the West right now than there is the East. Why don't you try to help and load up another East team? I think you'd have a better chance. Now, Miami obviously isn't that team right now, but I'd be curious to see. Congratulations, Mikey. You're going to the game. You won the tickets today, so that's awesome. And you know what we're gonna do? I just got a note. I got text. I got from an anonymous source who is donating a pair of seats to tonight. So this is last minute. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 10 people, make $100 donation. I'll tell you where you can make the donation. 100 people get in, then we'll do a draw. And one of those 10 for 100 bones, you're gonna go to the game tonight. So once we get 10, just text in. Make sure you have your name. I'll send you a note where you make it. You got to make the donation right away. So it's not first who text in. It's first 10 who actually make the donation, and then you're in. So if you're in for 100 bones, you got a 1 in 10 chance to go to the game tonight for $100. Lower bowl seats. Pretty awesome. So we're basically doubling the charity today. I love it. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. If you want in 100 bones for a 10% chance to go to the game tonight. 833, just make sure you put your name and say $100 in the text so I know that's what you're talking about. 833-401-1440. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Truck month continues on now at your local GMC dealer. $5,000 cash purchase credit on a 2025 Sierra HD. Check it out at gmccanada.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
It's game day. The Oilers hosting the Vegas Golden Knights. Game 4 their best-of-7 series. Puck drop just after 7:30. Pre-game coverage with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson getting going at 6 right here on Sports 1440. Elsewhere, you got the Caps and Canes meeting from Carolina. Carolina leads that series 2-1. Puck drop in about 10 minutes time. Toronto Maple Leafs forward Max Domi has received a $5,000 fine for boarding Florida Panthers captain Alexander Barkov in the dying seconds of Game 4 last night. In the association 2 games, you got the Knicks and Celtics going at it in about 40 minutes. New York leads that series 2-1. Then at 8 o'clock, the Warriors will try to even up their series with the Timberwolves, trailing 2-1. Major League Baseball right now, 3 games underway. Guardians, Brewers scoreless, as are the Cards and Phillies. In the bottom of the first, the Tigers lead the Red Sox 2-0. Later tonight, you got the Mets, Pirates, Nationals, Braves, Cubbies host the Marlins, Royals in Houston, Padres hosting the Angels, Mariners take on the Yankees, and it's the Giants up against the Diamondbacks. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages is the ultimate destination for everything garage. Storage solutions and cabinets? Garage Superstore has it. Vehicle hoists? Got those too. Durable polyaspartic floor coatings? You bet. From mess to masterpiece, one garage at a time. And when it's time to eat, Traeger Grills brings the heat with wood-fired flavor that can't be beat. Need it? They've got it at Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages. Visit their massive 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th or garagesuperstore.ca.
The Bricks tent sale is on now. With so many items to clear out, they've had to set up tents in the parking lot. Save up to 60% off clearance items in the tent and store. With new specials every day and a bonus gift with furniture purchases over $999, these offers won't last long. Save up to 50% off select mattresses, up to 25% off of bedroom and dining furniture, and the more you buy, the more you save, up to an extra $1,000 off appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Spring cleanup is a breeze with the Lawnmower Hospital and Echo Pro Attachment Series. With one power head and 16 different attachments, the Echo PAS powers through almost any spring cleanup job. And speaking of power, Echo now has a battery-powered power head that uses the same attachments as gas. Find out how commercial landscapers can save 20% for 24 months with the Landscaper Fleet Discount Program. See lawnmowerhosp.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
At Sherwood Honda, you'll find the true north traits Canadians are known for. Friendly? Check. Reliable? Check. Canadian made? Here's how you check. If the first digit on the VIN number is a 2, that Honda was made here in Canada, like the Honda Civic, CRV, and CRV Hybrid. Sherwood Honda has a whole lot of 2s for you to choose, a whole lot of spirit, and a whole lot of reasons your heart sure would be glowing when you pay them a visit.
If you're passionate about golf, you're in for a golfer's dream at the Quarry. Challenge and natural beauty come together across 27 holes every golfer should experience. Book now. Get geared up at the Pro Shop and start swinging at the Quarry. Don't forget the Granite Grill Restaurant, an unforgettable top-tier venue to host all your events. For rental details or to book your tee time, contact the Quarry today. Edmonton's most popular golf and event venue. Call 477-THE-Q and visit thequarryedmonton.com.
It's that time again, Edmonton.
Dig the Schwab in.
Schwab Chev Buick GMC knows that it's playoff season.
Right, Schwabbing now.
But even with some late nights ahead, their boss still has the Schwab team fighting Schwabbing hard to get you into the perfect ride.
That price isn't Schwabbing good enough.
Come score a great deal on your next vehicle with up to $12,000 off 2025 diesel trucks at Schwab Chevrolet Buick GMC in Leduc. Dig the Schwab in.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor. Sherbrooke is a house of curiosities, a mom and pop, a curated experience that is equal parts wine tastings and 2 from May long. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 5 o'clock. It is a long way to the top if you want to win the cup. That's for sure. It takes 16 wins and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and a little bit of luck and some good timing and health and so many other factors. Obviously, some skill as well. So, hey, no team is even halfway there yet. And some of you you're like, oh my God, I got another month of this. Well, buckle up. You might. Oilers are looking to get to win number 7 tonight out of 16 would give them a 3-1 series lead over the Vegas Golden Knights. Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, as well as Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. The show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. We're going to PlayAlberta.ca. You want to get in the game? Hey, maybe you've got a McDavid goal, Draisaitl goal, Oilers win. You can do that and more, and lotteries all in one place at PlayAlberta.ca. And hey, if you're not going to the game, and by the way, we got the 10 people that now I'll just wait till they all make their donation, but we had 10 who said they're committing to make the donation. We do that, then we'll do the draw, and somebody's going to go to the game. Hey, it's a pretty good deal. $100 gets you in the draw. If you don't win, you're helping out the Gregor Foundation, and if you win, you're going to go to the game tonight for 100 bones for 2 tickets. Can't find that deal anywhere. I tell you that right now. Heck, $100 might get you 2 beers. Let's get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction, the underground infrastructure specialists. And man, they're super busy. It's a great company to work for. They're building a new facility as well. So if you're looking for a fantastic company to work for, great opportunity to promote from within, apply today at GS Construction. As a Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, good afternoon, my man. How you doing?
Doing awesome, man. Looking forward to the game tonight.
Well, it should be a good game. The lineup changes. Let's start there. Arvidsson out, and now he practiced. So did Emberson, but both of them are going to be out of the lineup tonight. What do you make of the changes?
I think that it's time. Like the Oilers, it's a long run. Like a Stanley Cup run. Would the Oilers play last year? 25 games?
25,
it's better than a quarter of your season. Nobody goes any 25-game run during their season and just uses the same 20 players and the same goalie every night. Like, you don't do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know why we think we should in the playoffs. I think they're looking at their game the last 2 nights. So they win 6 in a row. At the end of the winning streak, they weren't great in that 6th win. They weren't great in their first loss. They're a little stale. It's time for some change. You got a veteran pro in Kapanen who can still fly. I don't, he's there's a reason he's not in your starting lineup when this thing started, but he's a good player. And it's time to get Stetcher some time. When the season ended, he was ahead of Emberson. So I'm totally fine with it. I think the lineup needs a little refresher. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't. It was funny because I was mentioning when practice started today to Rashad. I was like, you know what? I see Troy Stetcher out there. I saw him wheeling around. He just seemed to have a little pep in his step. So obviously he knew before practice he was going to play or not. But I felt like, you know what? I think he moves the puck a little bit quicker than Emberson. And, he's got more experience. He's played 500 games. 2 guys played 100 games. So, you know what? As you said, Spec, like, why not? It's not like Emberson has played poorly per se, but there's guys who get taken out of the line from the regular season who aren't always playing poor. It's just to keep other guys fresh, too.
Well, and I would say that, let the record show that the 2 big free agent signings of Jeff Jackson last July 1st are both healthy scratches here in game 4 of a second-round series. You can dress that up and describe it and change it and talk about it all you want, but the bottom line is both Skinner and Arvidsson are sitting in the press box tonight. That wasn't how it was supposed to go.
Yeah, well, 100%. Now things change and evolve, and you can't just say, well, we signed those guys, we got to play them. Obviously, they felt they needed to add some others, and, Podkolzin came afterwards, and Trent Frederick came afterwards, and then Kane got healthy, and they're like, hey, we're going to play some guys, and they're playing better. Yeah. And so you look at that. Also, I think, Spec, we're going to see some new lines. I think we're going to see McDavid with Hyman and Nugent Hopkins, how they ended last game. They were actually quite good together. They played together a lot of the time. After that, it's interesting. The lines they ran in the morning skate, I don't think mean nothing. You had Nugent Hopkins with Draisaitl and Janmark. That's 3 of your 4 centers. I don't see that happening. But I could see, Draisaitl maybe with Brown and Kane, Janmark with Frederick and Perry, Henrique with Podkolzin and Kapanen. I think we might see some unique combinations that we haven't seen.
Yeah, that's fair. The place where, I'm with you on the top line. I'm with you on Kane and Draisaitl. Now let's talk about who's playing right wing on that second line. Brown can do the job. We know that. Maybe it is Perry. Maybe Perry stays up there. I don't know. That's where it's going to start. If it's Perry, then you got Brown on a third line. Then, we work downwards from there. But again, this is just a guy coaching his team. This is just Chris Knobloch. there's a time to get out of the way and run the same lines out there. And then there's a time, and the coach is paid to recognize this, when you got to get involved and you got to direct your team a little bit. And that's all he's doing here. He's spotting that it's time. We've had a nice little run with these lines, the longest of the year, if I'm not mistaken, with the same 20 players. It's time to change. That's all. It's time to change. These lines have been in a blender all season. There's nobody out there who doesn't know the name of the guy to the left or right of them. That is for sure. So that's fine. I think they'll have a bit of a renewed jump tonight.
Well, they got to play a little bit better than they have. I know they won game 2. I didn't love their game that game, but game 3, Vegas was the better team. I know it came down to 0.4 seconds, and who knows what would happen in overtime, but Vegas was the better team. Spec, the Oilers only had 20 shots on goal. They didn't have one period with more than 7 shots, right? Like, it was pretty consistent, 7-7-6. They only had 2 sequences the entire game where they forced Aiden Hill to make a rebound save. So they're going to have to generate more tonight.
Yeah, that's really what it is. It's sustained offensive zone time. And Edmonton has at times, I haven't checked lately, but at times they've been in much of the playoffs. They've had the most ozone time of any team in the National Hockey League playoffs. So they've been good at it. They've been able to do that and sustain, right? And keep rolling and keep rolling. And we all know it. You score in your second chance, you score in your third chance. Like, that's, so this is Vegas winning sort of the guts of the hockey game. This is when one team has extended zone time and the other doesn't. I think I can tell you who's going to win the game eventually. Once in a while you fluke one off, but that's a huge part of it. How do we get in the zone? How do we stay in the zone? And I think we're going to, the entries were an issue for Edmonton last game. They weren't, there wasn't a lot of control zone entries. That's why they didn't spend much time in there. They didn't get it in and control. They didn't control it while it was in there. And the next thing you knew, it was out. So there's a few things have to change. And, the Oilers have been, I'm sure, pouring over video and they're figuring it out. There is no perfect system, Jay. There is always a way to beat the other team. You just got to figure out what it is.
Yeah, well, and some days you need a little bit of luck too, right? Sometimes you need some luck, but usually, if you're able to execute better, you'll have more success. Connor McDavid talked about it today, Spec, that, their defense has done a pretty good job of limiting them through the neutral zone. The last 2 games, Edmonton really hasn't had much extended offensive zone time, and McDavid talked about it. Now, the Oilers did it in game 1, so they can do it. They beat Vegas in game 1 with a lot of stretch pass, and Vegas has seemed to take that away. So now it's going to be, how can the Oilers counter?
Yeah, like, you're right. And to me, Vegas is, I guess every team's the same, frankly. I hearken back to the LA Kings. If you could break the puck out quick enough, if you could make your transition, execute it slick and fast and get the puck moving, and you just mentioned outlet passes in game 1 against Vegas, it's the same thing. If you can get at them before they develop and get into their structure in the neutral zone, right? These are good defensive teams, man. And they got a plan in the neutral zone and at their blue line. They got a plan, and everybody knows where to be. And it's hard to break it. Like, once LA lines up, you're dumping the puck in, whether you like it or not. So to me, it's sort of at the tops of your circles. When you get a turnover, you got to fire it. You got to get that thing going north quick before the other team gets structure. Now you got a chance of carrying the puck through the neutral zone, not dumping it through the neutral zone, right? So this defines playing fast. Knobloch's always talking about, let's not talk about foot speed. Let's talk about playing fast. That is playing fast. Get your offense going before the other team could get into their structure and into their positions. And now you got a chance of breaking them down because they're not quite as ready for you as they want to be.
Jason Gregor, Mark Spector with you, Sports 1440. Spec, the Vegas team and, Aiden Hill, guys in Vegas are like, hey, is Aiden Hill playing better? It's like, wow, he plays better when we play better, was what the head coach had to say, which you could probably say for a lot of goalies, around the league, especially if anybody who watches the playoffs here, you got Vezina Trophy winning goaltenders with average numbers when their team's giving up glorious chances. It's just how today's game is played. A defense. Now, obviously, you need a goalie to make some big saves. There's no question about that, right? We saw that. Calvin Pickard made some big saves. I thought Stuart Skinner in the third period made some big saves. What did you make of that final goal, Spec, on Saturday night?
Oh, it was. I mean, Didn't it start as about a 2-on-5? It was a complete team breakdown. It was a team that was like, there's only 10 seconds left. Surely this can't end up in our net. So to me, it's on the skaters. I think the puck finally does get to Skinner, and he's like, oh my goodness, there's something happening here. There's still time left. And I'm here to tell you, he because there was so little time left, he went out at Riley Smith and played it perfectly, in my mind. He gave Riley Smith nothing. He could not shoot the puck on goal successfully, so he shot a puck wide of the net. The goalie absolutely 1,000% on that play, right? That play did his job. The fact that a teammate put it in his own net is unfortunate, but it does not in any way, like if he sat in his net and said, okay, I'm not going to charge that guy, and Riley Smith wheeled up and shot bar down top corner, we'd say, what are you doing? Put some pressure on that shooter. Come out of your net. So no, I'll listen. I tweeted this the other day. Bill Ranford once said to me, don't tell me you're making me stop the shots that are going wide too, right? He made Riley Smith shoot wide and Draisaitl put his own net. So that goal is absolutely not on the goaltender in any way, shape, or form. What do you think?
No, I don't think so. Like, if your job is a goalie, because people are like, well, why doesn't he just stay in his net? I'm like, well, because once he walked around Nurse and McDavid, you sit back in your net. Now you're going to allow the guy to come in with time. So you're trying to, everybody knows there is limited seconds left. He went out and played it. And you're right, Spec, he didn't get a shot on goal. And so it's very unlucky to Draisaitl, but that's one where I don't look at the goalie and say, hey, the time and everything, he played it. Did the guy get a shot on goal? No. And the puck still went in the net. I don't really blame the goalie on that one. Now, I don't blame Draisaitl per se. It's bad luck. Right? Like, he comes back, his stick is there, and like people say, well, why would your stick
guy
there?
made a mistake.
Like it's guys usually you put there because you want to stop it, but it is funny. McDavid tied the game on an own goal. Vegas won it on an own goal. The night before on Friday, Toronto tied it on an own goal, and then Florida Marchand won it on an own goal. So clearly, at times, you need a little bit of luck. Put pucks on net, and the right things will happen. Now, speaking of Draisaitl, the Oilers had 2 brutal line changes, right? They had some and now Draisaitl hasn't had many off nights. When he has, he seems to come back. What's your expectations from him tonight? And do you like the fact that it looks like McDavid and Draisaitl are going to be on separate lines?
Yeah, I'm good with that. That's what we've watched with the Oilers. When things get a little sour, and despite the fact that Draisaitl and McDavid both had 2-point nights in Game 3, they just didn't. I think either of them would say they didn't get as much done as they wanted to. That might be the worst playoff game I've seen Draisaitl play. I mean, he gives up the 2-on-1 goal. He leads the really slow, poorly timed change on another goal, and he puts another goal in his own net. It's a 4-3 game, and he had a lot to do with 3 of the 4 against. So, this guy's a great player. Like, he had a bad game. Happens. Like, I'm not here to beat up on Leon Draisaitl. Let's make that clear. The history of those 2 guys is they don't have 3 games in a row that aren't very good. Right. Certainly Draisaitl's had 2 games in a row right now that haven't been good. I think that you can expect to see, plus the magnitude of this game. Series turn on the Game 4. This is either a 3-1 series and you're feeling great, or she's 2-2 and you lost home ice advantage and they got all the momentum going home. So this is a giant game. Everybody knows it. And the 2 guys in this city that show up when the moment is biggest on the most consistent basis, we both know who they are. So if you're asking me if they're going to show up tonight, history tells me they're both going to show up in spades tonight.
Well, it should be a great game. In Vegas, obviously, you know what? Hey, as important as that game was, this one's just as important for them. Meanwhile, Edmonton, who have won 7 Game 4s in a row, will look to make it 8 and put themselves up 3-1 in the series. The last time they were up 3-1 in the series, of course, was against the LA Kings last year. They went on to win that one in 5 games, which, of course, Game 5 being at home. So, you know what? I think tonight, it's funny. That game started well for Edmonton, but they never really seemed to be in control of the game. It's hard to control the game, but they didn't really generate anything after that. I would expect Edmonton, Aiden Hill hasn't looked all world. Now, the best save of the whole series for him was that McDavid save with about 3.5-4 minutes left, maybe the shift before he scored. But other than that, I don't think Edmonton tested him enough. I'd want to try to test Aiden Hill more here. Get him moving.
Well, sure. And part of that is some sustained offensive zone time. The Oilers aren't a volume shooting team, right? They're a volume possess the puck team. Again, they tend to lead the league in O-zone possession time, which we always talk about when we talk about their lack of power plays that they get, but that's another story. They're a big possession team. They're not a big volume shooting team. So, you want to test Adin Hill, you better have the puck more. And they just didn't have it in their usual comfort level in game 3. There's a myriad of reasons. Most of them were Vegas played better than they did, man. It's just take your hat off to them. Vegas was the better team in game 3 and likely the better team in game 2 by a little less of a margin. So this is a series. They're good. We knew they're good. Edmonton's really good too. And someone's going to dictate this game tonight, right? If Edmonton plays with better defensive structure, I guarantee you their goalie's going to be better. And if they have the puck more, I guarantee you Adin Hill won't look quite as good as he did the other night because he needs to see some rebounds. And they need to get some east-west plays on him that they didn't have the other night. Make his life tougher, and I'll bet you he doesn't look as good.
Well, Spec, it should be entertaining. Looking forward to seeing if the Oilers can get a win. It's going to be loud and proud, man. We look forward to it. Have yourself a good one.
All right. See you at the rink tonight.
There you go. That's Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. So all the 10 guys have donated their money. We'll do the draw coming out of the break, and then so we get you as much time to get to the game. So Josh and Mark and Ryan and Kevin and Ryan and Mark and Brad and Dave and Victor, you're in. We'll do the draw when we return. Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, live and on the rocks.
Hey, Alberta, the all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
Adventure just doesn't stumble into your life. It roars to life with Riverside Motorsports. Tearing up trails or cruising the open road. Yamaha ATVs, side-by-sides, motorcycles, and dirt bikes deliver the performance you crave. Built for thrills, ready for your next adventure. Yamaha's legendary performance and reliability take you there. Make Mother Nature your playground on a Yamaha from Riverside Motorsports. Located on St. Albert Trail. RideRiverside.com. Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
Legend has foretold of a smoothie so delicious and refreshing that it could quench the thirst of a fire-breathing dragon.
But it's also a great pick-me-up after a workout. The new Dragon Slaya smoothie from Booster Juice, a legendary blend of dragon fruit and mangoes, destined to be your next obsession. Try it today along with the new Dragon Booster Ball and the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer.
3 epic menu items to conquer your cravings. Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadians for $5.25. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref.
That ain't hard, is it?
And every game night during Edmonton's playoff run, specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocks.com.
Find the perfect tractor for any job at Edmonton Kubota. Their massive selection of compact tractors has something for everyone, whether you're tackling small tasks or big projects. And right now, take advantage of 0% financing for up to 72 months. It's never been easier to get the power and reliability you need. Come down to Edmonton Kubota today and drive away with the tractor that's just right for you. Edmonton Kubota, where your perfect tractor awaits.
If you're passionate about golf, you're in for a golfer's dream at the Quarry. Challenge and natural beauty come together across 27 holes every golfer should experience. Book now. Get geared up at the Pro Shop and start swinging at the Quarry. Don't forget the Granite Grill Restaurant, an unforgettable top-tier venue to host all your events. For rental details or to book your tee time, contact the Quarry today. Edmonton's most popular golf and event venue. Call 477-THE-Q and visit thequarryedmonton.com.
It's that time again, Edmonton.
Dig the Schwab in.
Schwab Chev Buick GMC knows that it's playoff season.
Right, Schwabbing now.
But even with some late nights ahead, their boss still has the Schwab team fighting Schwabbing hard to get you into the perfect ride.
That price isn't Schwabbing good enough.
Come score a great deal on your next vehicle with up to $12,000 off 2025 diesel trucks at Schwab Chevrolet Buick GMC in Leduc. Dig the Schwab in.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Action Electrical. They're the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions in project, service, tag, and solar for commercial or residential. Contact them today at actionelectrical.net.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We roll through a lovely Monday afternoon. It is game day. Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights. We'll get to Kevin Woodley in a second. Here live at OTR, Jasper Ave and 118th. They just had to wheel in a few extra tables. It's going to be packed in here tonight, boys and girls. It's going to be awesome. Great seats, lots of big screen TVs for you, $2 hot dogs, in-game beer and food special. So stop in, make a reservation, give a call quickly if you want to get in one of the extra tables. Dial it up at On the Rocks. Now, 10 of you put in your $100 for charity. One of you is going to win. That's going to be the best deal. You're going to get a playoff game tonight for only $100 to get 2 seats. We had people, is that for 1 seat? We would never do 1 seat. I guess unless there was only a solo, but we always do a pair. So, and big thanks to our anonymous donor of the tickets tonight. So, anybody can see us online here. I got my trusty here. We'll just pull it out there, Cons. Away we go, and boom. Winning name is, can you see that? Mark L. Mark, congratulations. You're going to the game tonight. So you got a few hours. We'll get a hold of you, and I'll send you the tickets. Thanks, everybody, for playing. And Mark L. is going to the game tonight. Now, let's talk some more hockey. Let's get to our goalie report. Our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Rides Charter Company, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches that will safely take you or your group to your next destination. Hey, maybe you want to get to the game in style. Book your ride today at silentrides.ca. Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine and NHL.com joins us. What'd you say, Connor?
He is just logging on momentarily, so he should be up shortly here.
Woodley get lost here? What's going on? Time constraints. Chop, chop. Anyway, we'll get to him in a second. Hey guys, first time ever, but I totally agree with Spec. Wow, hey, you know what? If we agreed all the time, it'd be boring. But you agree sometimes. And the good news is, well, Mighty Cobra, well, you agree there's a Spec's an idiot. The goalie should stay in his net. Okay. But what's funny about it is I saw Devin Dubnyk, Chris Pronger, lots of other players saying the goalie played that well. You're looking at the time of the game, you come out and you attack, you slide it out, and you didn't give the guy anywhere to shoot. He could not hit the net, so he slid it through the crease, and unfortunately for the Oilers, it went in off of Draisaitl's stick. Kevin Woodley joins us. Woodley, what did you make of that crazy ending of that game and how Skinner played it?
I got to be honest with you, Jason. I would have liked to have seen a little rotation back to the post. I just think as a goalie, that's kind of your, you'd never want to end up out near the hash marks. Like, that's just the reality of it. And I think you can break down the play and be critical on a number of aspects. I think when you look at both guys going out to block the shot, like all three guys sort of rushing out at him. And I understand that the time left in the game sort of creates that hesitation. I mean, like, the one part that I haven't heard a ton of people, like, tip your hat to Riley Smith. How many of us are not just leaning on that and trying to hit it as hard as we can from the top of the, sort of the above around the top of the circles? So his patience on that. But then once you start pushing backwards, because your momentum's coming out, like that half second to get a little bit of rotation with your right skate and start steering yourself back towards the post, I think gives you a better chance of not getting extended as much as he did and having to reach out with the stick. And so like I understand the situation, and I listened to the interview after the game, and if he had basically said he was trying to pressure him, trying to force him, it felt like there was at least a little balance. I'm not asking for perfect goaltending. I'm not asking for a perfect rotation, seal right back into the post. I understand the urgency of it and wanting to pressure him, but I think a little more rotation gets you back there, and then that puck doesn't end up through the crease, even with a chance to bank it in. And that said, I've had a lot of people like that are even more critical of than that, like goalie experts, other goalie coaches that are like, how do you end up out there? And to them, I actually countered. I'm like, hey, like if he cuts back into his post perfectly, Riley Smith with the puck on his stick and his head up at the hash marks might just bury on him clean from that point.
100%. That's what I was saying.
So balance between the two. I just think that anytime you end up where he ended up, we can talk about wanting to pressure a guy, and maybe there's a cognizance of how much time is left on the clock and just trying to get out there. But it usually means you didn't have any rotations in your pushes, and that usually means there's an element to panic.
Yeah, but the thing is, at the end of the day, however he played it, the shot never went on goal. Right?
No, I mean, hey, puck's not going in, right? Like it is what it is. I think you can break down that play, and we all want to look at the end result. And this isn't like I don't think Draisaitl's got any choice, but like you're trying to intercept that pass, right? You're trying to break, like it's just instinct. I don't think you blame him. It's just a tough break. I think what you could do is look at the 5 guys on the ice and how a zone entry with 7 seconds left ended up what it is defensively, in terms of the posture, in terms of the lack of poise. So when I talk about panic, I think there was plenty of that to go around on that play.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, like if you didn't like how the goalie played it, fair, but you can't just say the goalie was the problem on that play. Like, give me a break, right? You had all the guys. I think what happened is they look at the clock and there was like 6 seconds, but it was almost like they let up. And then it was like, oh my God, now there's still time left on the clock. And but I always felt that they deserved to lose that game. Now it's a heartbreaking fashion they lost, but Vegas was the better team. Adin Hill, they're down too early, and then Vegas just didn't get up anything. It was almost like a role reversal of game 1. So if you're the Oilers, I know you've talked a lot about, high glove on Adin Hill. We saw that in game 1. Some deflection for Corey Perry. Corey Perry shooting in his hands. That scored as well. But Edmonton really didn't generate much after that. And their head coach, Vegas, said, hey, Hill, he's playing better, but because we're playing better. So what have you seen maybe Vegas, as much as Hill's, like, do the numbers match out that Hill's environment has been infinitely easier the last few games?
Certainly wasn't in the last game. I mean, the Oilers had 5 high danger chances and 4 mids. Vegas had 7 and 5. I mean, neither one of them sort of blew the doors off offensively, but there's a full goal expected wise difference. Like that's a pretty low output from Edmonton. And in the game before that, again, just 6 high danger chances for the Oilers compared to 11 for Vegas. That was the one where Pickard really stood on his head to sort of keep them in that game. With Adin Hill, we've talked about this since the 2023 Cup run, right? Like if you can get to the middle of the ice and go after the hands, and we've seen the Oilers do that, not just the 2 low danger goals off the rush in game 3, but we saw them again with Corey Perry, and that's a good shot. Don't get me wrong, like low blocker just over the pad. That's where you want to put it. But I think there's some exposure there if you can get to the middle of the ice. And beyond that, like winning battles on scrambles and things like that, there's a lack of composure at times from Adin, but there's just more scramble. It's funny, Skinner's what we would call a belly goalie, and Adin's what we would call a butt goalie. And so Skinner, when he gets extended, tends to pitch forward, and we've talked about that in the past, and Adin tends to fall on his butt. And so just get him in more of those scrambles, win more of those battles in front of the net, funnel pucks to the net with bodies there and generate some of those scrambles, because I don't think either guy, frankly, has done a real great job of sort of staying over their knees, staying composed in a butterfly. There's a tendency to get opened up and splayed out, and that's when you can shovel pucks through. But in the past 2 games, they haven't created or won, even when they do create, near enough of the battles down and around the net front to take advantage of some of those opportunities.
Kevin Woodley from Ingo Magazine and NHL.com joins us. You look at the Toronto Maple Leafs, and hey, Wall was great. That might have been his best game of the year last night against Florida. Bobrovsky wasn't very good early on in that series. Now, did Florida just batten it down? Do you think Bobrovsky's played better? What do you think happened there in the 2 games in Florida?
Well, it kind of reminds me of what Bruce Cassidy said about Aiden Hill. Like, both things can be true, right? So the Leafs had 4 high danger chances last night. They created less than 2 expected goals. One mid, 4 high danger. Everything else was low danger. And so the one caveat I would throw at that is good, nice environment for Bob, but on those high danger, he made some really good saves. He made some really poised saves, and he was moving around the crease with a level of explosiveness that if they don't do a better job of sort of, again, generate those chances down around in front of the net, and then with the odd battle to get to those pucks, if they don't, he looked in the last game like the guy we saw against Edmonton in the first 2 or 3 games. If you're not going to generate the types of chances, you allow him to find a groove. And at the end of the day, Bob in the regular season and Bob in the playoffs, we've had that conversation over the years, outplayed by backups consistently for a number of years statistically, but the ability to sort of rise to the occasion in the postseason. I worry a little bit for Toronto fans out there that what you saw in that last game was the Maple Leafs allowing him to gain a level of comfort where he can maybe get on a 2 or 3 game heater, and that would probably finish your season in Toronto. He looked, as much as he wasn't tested when he looked like the Bob we saw early in the Stanley Cup final last year. And so I do think both things can certainly be true. He wasn't tested, but by not testing him, you allowed him to find a comfort level that is pretty dangerous if you're an opponent.
Yeah, I think that's a very well way to say it. Kevin Woodley joins us. The Dallas-Winnipeg series, Kev. Winnipeg's road to home numbers are awful. Hellebuck's road to home numbers are awful. What did you like? Hellebuck, he got the shutout in game 2, but he wasn't really tested, right? Like, the minute his environment isn't perfect, it seems he struggles. What have you made of his numbers and the environment so far in the playoffs this year?
I think perfect is fair, but there's predictable might be a better description of it, because Dallas generated good looks even in game 2, right? Like, and that was by far his best game. But they were sort of looks that you could see coming a little bit, right? Like, so often odd man rush when you have control, even the rebound, feels the rebound, knows where it's going, right? Makes that spectacular glove save with the cheater on the glove, right? The extended one. Interestingly enough, he actually got up off the wrong foot on that one. I don't think anybody else noticed, but us goalie geeks, which was a bit of a, like, what's going on here? Maybe made that a little more spectacular than he needed to be. Recover with the right skate, and you get a better push over there. You're not reaching. But he looks so much cleaner. I thought even losing game 1, I think I said that to you heading into the weekend, like, good news for Jets fans is he looked clean because the game's cleaner in front of him. If Dallas ratchets up the pace and the chaos, that's when it gets harder. Inevitably for any goalie, but I think more so for a guy who relies so much on the reads. We've talked about that before. And I think that's what we saw. Interesting to me, I thought he was fine in game 3 for the most part. And then after the controversial call, and again, Scramble puts it in his own net, everybody lost their composure. Not just him, but everybody. And that's been, as much as the focus has been on him, it's been the team's inability to stick with their game plan at the first sign of trouble on the road. They start running around. And that is not how he has success. And most goalies are going to succeed in a more controlled environment. But as soon as it gets chaotic and as soon as they come apart in front of him, like, it takes his superpowers away, right? Like, the things that make him great are lost to the greatest degree when the team loses its structure. And their inability in moments to sort of reset and get back to it, the way they come apart, like, I think it fuels a lot of the struggles we've seen for Connor Halley.
So how would you fix that? Because Winnipeg, like,
it's a
you
tough one.
talked about it, that they had the best environment for a goalie in the regular season consistently, right? So is there something about their system that teams are picking up in pre-scout that allows them to break it down and then thus break down Hellebuyck?
Well, if we think about chaos, right? We talk about screens and broken plays and bodies to the net, right? And I do believe that, like, that book exists in the regular season, but on a Wednesday in Winnipeg, are you going to those areas with the same determination you are in a best-of-7 series? I just don't think so. And so I don't know how you fix it in the short term, because their personnel, both him and the team in front of him, managed those things very well. Their screen numbers were fine. Their broken play numbers were fine. His numbers behind it in the regular season, they were all fine. But the level of chaos that's been created in the postseason, I mean, we've seen it's not just him. Like, how many goals are off sticks and skates and butts, right? Like, just get everything to the net and funnel pucks from dead angles, funnel pucks, sort of from the flanks into those areas, and win the battles, and chaos ensues. We talked about screens. Guys coming outside of their lanes when they go out to challenge a screen, collapsing too far back into the slot, and then being late to get out, giving the defenseman time to have a head up and find a lane, and then as shot blockers not being in the right lane. How do you win battles against broken plays? Well, your defensemen have got to box out early. I thought the Hockey Night crew has done a great job with some of the video of showing how late their defensemen are to establish position to move guys out from in front of Connor Halley. And they were good at all those things in the regular season, and he was good behind them. I just don't think as the intensity has ratcheted up and the focus on those types of plays have ratcheted up, that they've been able to match it as a group in front of him and him behind it to anywhere the degree they did in the regular season. And how do you practice that? How do you improve it? Honestly, Jason, I don't know. They might have to look at personnel as a defense core, despite some size back there. I feel like, there's been too many battles lost in front of Connor Halley that weren't lost during the regular season. And so maybe you have questions about that. But at the end of the day, neither Connor nor the group in front of him has been able to replicate that environment as the intensity of those types of plays in particular have ratcheted up.
Kev, you look at it lastly, if you're the Oilers or Vegas tonight, both of them, what's your approach to attack Hill and then Skinner conversely?
If I'm Vegas, I'm just trying to continue creating laterals. I think that Chris Knobloch touched on how much better a job they need to do at limiting the rush opportunities, which is where Vegas thrives, and their ability to create laterals off of those. I'm trying to move Stu east-west. And I don't say that listen, you try and move every goalie in the league east-west. You get him across the slot line and your odds of scoring go up threefold. It's just the reality of today's game. But I thought, I didn't mind his game structure-wise. I just thought, and naturally, there was just an early commitment down, right? Like we saw it on the Riley Smith partial breakaway where he's down and then he has to open to move as it looks like Smith's cutting across, and that's where he tucks it in. Just a little bit premature with the drops, with the timing, with maybe the tracking, and that creates exposure. And so if I see a goalie who's going down early, the instinct is going to be, shoot high. Honestly, to me, as soon as I see the knees touch the ice, that's why I'm trying to make a play at that point laterally. And with Hill, I do think they need to create more chaos in front of them and win more of those battles. And if you can't, when you do get opportunities off the rush, and we've seen this, get to the middle, cut to the middle. Don't be afraid to take shots from there. It's one of his biggest statistical weaknesses has been. And if Vegas isn't going to limit that the way they did in 2023, then anytime you get a chance to cut through the middle of the ice, cut off a route and cut across the top of the circles and get a look, I think you got to take that.
Yeah. Awesome. Kev, great stuff, buddy. We appreciate it. Have yourself a lovely day.
I'll leave you with one tidbit. The only series we didn't talk about, Washington and Carolina, is the only two goaltenders left in the Stanley Cup playoffs who are above their expected, above their environment at this point, which is kind of remarkable.
Wow. Awesome stuff, buddy. Thanks so much.
Take care.
There you go. That is Kevin Woodley from Ingo Magazine, NHL.com. Quick break. We'll come back and get the lineup report more on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
The Bricks tent sale is on now. With so many items to clear out, they've had to set up tents in the parking lot. Save up to 60% off clearance items in the tent and store. With new specials every day and a bonus gift with furniture purchases over $9.99, these offers won't last long. Save up to 50% off select mattresses, up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture, and the more you buy, the more you save. Up to an extra $1,000 off appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair, they'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast.
Visit drvanceelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
For a rock-solid start on all your spring and summer projects, Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete to septic tanks, precast water pads to outhouses, plus aggregates, landscaping supplies, and more. Renos, construction. Start planning right now at BashawConcrete.com or call 780-372-3854. That's 780-372-3854. Family owned and operated, proudly serving Albertans since 1963. Bashaw Concrete Products.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Watch every Oilers game at OTR with $5.25 Molson Canadian, $5 Brink Whitney shots, and 60-cent wings. Plus, play Oilers score and win for your chance to win On the Rocks gift cards. Oilers hockey at OTR. Book your table today. Jasper Ave in 118th.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.545, the final countdown. We got the pregame show, of course, coming up. Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson will take you right through until puck drop tonight. Oilers and Vegas as we get to the lineup report brought to you by Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. And oh, look at it outside. Now, I know, hey, we've had a nice little rain today. Hopefully it's raining everywhere. We need lots of it, man. We could use like 3 days of it. Get 3 inches of rain, help out with that red water fire and just dampen everything because it's way too dry. And though you'll be thinking about the boats because then the more water, you got more boating time. You can get into boats, you can get into ATVs, all the outdoor fun that you want in one place at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. Lineup changes. Some new ones. Haven't said that in a long time for the Edmonton Oilers. Arvidsson will be out. Emerson, both of them look like they're coming out. Troy Stetcher and Kasperi Kapanen will draw in. Now, what are the lines in the deep pairs? We don't know specifically. Here's my best guess. But again, not 100%. I think McDavid's going to start with Hyman and Nugent-Hopkins. I think Draisaitl, Janmark, and Henrique, they're going to stay at center. You got Brown, Perry, and Kapanen on the right side. You got Kane, Frederick, and Podkolzin on the left side. I'm going to guess maybe we see Kane and Brown with Draisaitl to start, Podkolzin and Kapanen with Henrique, and then Janmark with Frederick and Perry. We'll see. We do know that the lines will move around at different times, coming out of power plays and penalty kills and stuff like that. So, but for the most part, that might be what they start with. On the back end, will we see Nurse and Stetcher again? Kulak with Bouchard and then Wallman and Klingberg? Possibly. But again, we won't 100% know until warm-up. Tonight, meanwhile, for Vegas, no line changes for them from last game. Mark Stone left the game, but he's going to be a game-time decision from the coach, but everything points to him playing. He took all the reps, was even on the first unit power play, so he'll play with Eichel and Barbashev. Hurdle with Dorofeev and Olofsson. Carlson with Smith and Howden. Nick Roy with Kolazar and Tanner Pearson. On the back end, McNabb and Theodore. Hannafin, Petrangelo, Haig, and Zach Whitecloud. And of course, Aiden Hill will start in goal. So no lineup changes for Vegas, 2 for Edmonton. I don't mind it. They haven't changed it up. I know, hey guys, this is typical Oilers. They lose one game and they change their lineup. Well, I guess you could look at it that way. Like, Vegas changed their lineup before. If you play different guys all year long, I don't see what would be the end of the world to shuffle it in anyway. I don't see a massive problem with it. Also, after they lost game 2, I don't think they changed their lineup, right? Jeff Skinner played game 1, and then they basically went with the exact same lineup for the rest of it. So, the last 2 games, Edmonton hasn't, I felt, played up to the level that they'd like. So they make a little tweak, and now we'll see if it if it works out for them. Cons, is there any line combinations you would like to see the Oilers start with?
I think for me, like, I would like to just say that the top line being McDavid and Draisaitl, I think makes the Oilers harder to defend. So I'd love to see them, start out at least going that route.
So you want them to play together to start?
Separate. Because
separate.
Make it a little bit more tougher to defend, having those guys out there for a longer period of time. Other than that, you know what? I think whatever you go with, I mean, there's positives to it, and having Hyman getting a chance to play with McDavid again, I think would be beneficial. I think he's been great. Playing a little bit lower in the lineup, still with good talent, but doing all the little things, playing physical, leading the way in that aspect, and a guy who can finish in front of the net. Like, I'd like to see those two reunited. And then for Draisaitl, I think there's a lot of guys who are candidates to play with him, but that would be the first step for me, is separating McDavid and Draisaitl, and just hoping that they can kind of find their game carrying their own line.
I do have this text. Hey, Greg, Trent Frederick can play center. Would you consider playing him with Kane and Podkolzin for an energy line? Well, I guess then you're going to move Podkolzin to the right wing. I don't think so, because Frederick, I know that he's still limited in turning one way. And as a center iceman, you're in the middle of the ice, so you have to turn left and right more. Right? When you're a winger, sometimes you can, you're limited in how you have to turn. Like, if I'm a left winger, I don't have to turn not often, but you might not have to turn, left as much, to face the boards. So I would probably right now a little hesitant to play Frederick there. I like maybe Frederick. Now, if Frederick can play the right side, so if you want to play him on the right wing for a shift or two with Kane and the left side, and have him bookends with Janmark or even Draisaitl for a line, that I could get on board with. But I probably wouldn't start him right now down the middle. Good question, though. Hey, boys, can you explain why the Oilers special teams are so different at home than on the road from JC? God, man, if I only knew. If I only knew. I would say there's really no explanation for it. It doesn't really make sense. Right? Because it's not like their system drastically changes. Hey, we're at home. Let's try this. Oh, we're on the road. We'll do this. Like, I don't see that. So I don't have a good answer. I wish I did, but I don't have an answer. It's an oddity, because that's not normally the case. The Oilers special teams in the regular season is pretty consistent, home or away, right? Like, not to the level that we've seen drastically different. Right. So I would Edmonton, you just want to hope that at bare minimum it continues, right? Like, you look at their, what are they, 75% of the power play at home? And then, they're 0% in this series 0% on the road. Like, it's nuts. So with that going, you want to hope to win. Now, the other thing is, eventually they're going to score on the road. They can't continue to be 0%. Their power play is just too good to be 0%. So that's kind of how I would view it. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, what about the Oilers penalty kill? Did they give an explanation as to why they're so passive? Not really when I asked the question. They haven't, right? Like, last game, Vegas didn't score on the power play. So I think because Edmonton's okay with playing what they're doing, as long as the thing is, like, on any penalty kill, if you're going to play a certain system, it has to be very disciplined. If you're going to play a pressure system, then everybody has to be in sync, because the minute one guy goes, if the other guy hesitates, now there's going to be a big opening. And so the system they're playing now against Vegas, and Vegas loves to get it low to Jack Eichel in the left corner, right? We see that. And he is kind of the conductor. And they look for those seam passes. And now with Dorofeev back in, that's a play they love. They love getting it to Dorofeev, who's a left shot playing the right side like Draisaitl. Now, he's not as low as Draisaitl, but that's the one they want. And twice, Edmonton's defenders took their stick out of the passing lane and had it covering down low in the net. Can't do that because then Vegas will kill you through the high. So if you're going to play that passive one, then you have to ensure your sticks are in lanes. So it's not always that easy, but that's what I think they have to do. I'd like it more aggressive, but obviously they're going to stick with this one. Have yourselves a great night. Enjoy the game. We'll have all the pregame and postgame reaction tonight here on Sports 1440. And, of course, come down to OTR, baby. $2 hot dogs, or as the I don't even remember the name, Cons. Grizzlies, is that what it is?
Glizzy.
Glizzies. The Glizzies. $2 Glizzies at OTR. Let's get to the Con Man of Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at LegacyHeating.ca. Good night. Enjoy the game.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
It is game day. Oilers Kings from Rogers Place just after 7:30. We've got pregame coverage coming up next. Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson right here on Sports 1440. One other game tonight on the ice. Canes lead the Capitals 1-0 after 20 minutes. They also lead that series 2-1 in the association. It's early. The Celtics on top of the Knicks 16-6. 7 minutes left in the first quarter. Later tonight, you got the Timberwolves and Warriors going at it from San Francisco. Minnesota leads that series 2-1. The NBA draft lottery was tonight. Dallas Mavericks will be selecting first overall. Spurs, Sixers, Hornets, and Jazz round out the top 5. The Toronto Raptors will select 9. Major League Baseball today, not a great start for the Red Sox. They trailed the Tigers 11-0 midway through the 4th. Elsewhere, Guardians on top of the Brewers 4-0 in the 6th. Cards and Phillies tied at 1 apiece in the 5th as well. And in the 3rd, the Pirates have a 1-0 lead over the Mets. Later tonight, Rockies in Arlington. Astros host the Royals. Angels up against the Padres. Mariners host the Yankees. And the Diamondbacks travel to San Fran to take on the Giants. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, we've got pre-game coverage. Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson. The boys will be back for post-game coverage as well. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.